Happy Sunday, everyone, and welcome to our final classic WrestleMania watch-along of WrestleMania 38 season. We are here to watch WrestleMania 7. I'm excited about this one, and I'm surprised how many of you are excited about it as well. I wasn't expecting a huge audience or anything this week, but people have been really talking it up on Twitter and really looking forward to this one. And I think it's going to be fun because I have a lot of fond memories of this show. This was way back in 1991, so you're looking at 14-year-old good mic work here, watching this show in my living room with my parents, no less. And I have a lot of memories of it, the lead up, the build, what transpired before and after, and all that stuff. And I think it'll be fun to share some memories of this afternoon. I want to thank KdogsKennel. He is, I think, one of the first ones on here to chat. You can find him up there. He is basically the sponsor of this week's watch-along because last week during the watch-along, he chimed in with a very generous super chat and mentioned this specific show. And I was like, you know what? Sold. Done. Let's do WrestleMania 7. Sounds like fun. And just as a way to kind of show appreciation. If you'd like to check out Kevin's channel, it's right in the description below. He does a lot of video game streaming and stuff like that, so please do go down to the description and subscribe to him, show him some love, and thank him for recommending and nominating this pay-per-view because it's really tough to decide which WrestleManias to do. We still have many more to do in years to come, but when you're trying to really narrow one down, sometimes it can be hard. So I think this one will be excellent, and I'm looking forward to reliving Warrior and Savage, Hogan and Slaughter. Unfortunately, I have to watch Bret Hart lose a championship here, but it would lead to bigger and better things for him. Hilarious blindfold match between Jake the Snake Roberts and Rick Martel. We had a lot of crazy stuff on the show, and it should be fun to look back on it. Now, of course, if you're new here to the channel, we do these classic watch-alongs on Peacock, so that will be the best way to follow along. If you'd like to follow along on the DVD or the VHS tape, you are welcome to. Got it right here on Coliseum Video. They released, I think, 2 or 3 in the big box. I know 7 and 8 were in a big box. Yeah, 7 and 8, I think, are the only ones in the larger boxes, but I remember renting this before I actually was an owner of it at the video store, and of course I watched it on pay-per-view as well that night. But like I said, Peacock is the best place to follow along, and not that you can't watch it somewhere else, but Peacock will match up, with the timer the best. So in just a little while, we will all hit play together, and from there, you just follow along with the timer above my head. That way, if I have any issues or you have any issues, the timer will never stop running, and all we got to do is just sync up to the timer, and we can all watch along with no issues. So that is how we do it here. Most of you know this, but just in case you don't, that's the deal. In the meantime, please hit the subscribe button. Give this video a like if you don't mind. And I will say hello to everybody in the chat. Knock out these super chats. Allow you guys to pull up your Peacock. And of course, you're going to go to the WrestleMania tab under WWE and look for WrestleMania 7 Season 1. Or I'm sorry, WrestleMania Season 7, Episode 1 is what you're looking for. Runtime, according to Peacock, is 3 hours, 30 minutes, and 45 seconds. So if you're on the East Coast, we will finish up before midnight for you. So that's good. And yeah, basically that's it. So go ahead and pull up your Peacock. Find WrestleMania 7 on there. While you're doing that, I want to say hello to KdogsKennel, the sponsor of this video. Tatanani, John Fitzmaurice is here, patiently waiting. Raymond Fran, Jet the Hawk, We Are Pro Wrestling is back as well. Your birth year, 1991. Right on, man. Well, I got 14 years on you. So what are you, 30? Holy shit, right on. We Are Pro Wrestling. Raymond Fran, I got you, KdogsKennel. Chris Ludecki, thank you very much, dude, for that $5 drop. Hey, Greg, just got back from Florida. Hope all is well. Since you know I'm a Duke fan, next Saturday is the biggest college basketball game of all time. That's right. Duke is yet again in the Final Four. And I believe the Final Four is going to go head-to-head with Night 1 of WrestleMania, correct? And then I think the National Championship will probably be Monday. That's usually the way they usually do it. So I guess the post-Mania Raw will be going up against the National Championship as well. I grew up portion of my childhood in North Carolina, so I really despised the ACC because I wasn't from there, and everybody that I was around was a Duke fan or a Carolina fan, and none of these people ever went to these schools. They were just like diehard fans of these schools, so I had to live with a lot of shit because those teams were really, really good in basketball, and they owned my home teams, U of M and Michigan State, and other teams that were also very strong and very good in basketball were just destroyed anytime they matched up with the ACC, so I grew up hating these motherfuckers. However, as much as I don't like Duke and never did, I really had no issue with Coach K. I mean, the dude, first of all, he doesn't age, and he's an absolute legend. He's always just, he's just a really well-respected, legendary coach, and regardless of what I think about the team, I respect him, and the fact that he got his 100th tournament win, and he's in his record-tying, record-breaking Final Four appearance, for Coach K, it makes me happy. I've met Coach K. He's been down to Wilmington before to visit. I've met Roy Williams. I've met a lot of the ACC coaches, from back in the day and stuff. And I really got no issue with Coach K. So if he goes on to win the entire thing, I'm actually going to be happy for him. And if you were to go back in time and tell 1991 Greg, who watched WrestleMania 7, that I would be actually happy that Coach K was cutting down the nets and celebrating another national championship, you would think I'm crazy. So, yeah, we'll see how the March Madness plays out. I haven't cared about March Madness in quite some time. Haven't even filled out a bracket in over a decade. Just don't care. But this one could be interesting with Duke. We'll see how it goes. Good to see Brian and Andy and Jay Lil in the house. George Morris is here with $5. Hey, Greg, how you doing? WrestleMania 7, 10 out of 10. 26 people from this show are dead, including celebrities and one referee. What do you think? What do you think? Sad? Yeah, it's definitely sad, and I'm sure we'll be pointing out people who are passed away. And I know with the celebrities, we had Alex Trebek, who is no longer with us, Regis Philbin, who is no longer with us. Marla Maples, I think, still is, and Trump was here, I think, again, in the front row. Who else do they have for celebrities? I forgot. But yeah, and then, of course, many, many, many wrestlers were not here. And this was also an interesting WrestleMania, too, because there was no Jesse Ventura. The previous year at WrestleMania 6, they ran a promo for WrestleMania 7, and Jesse was over the moon that WrestleMania was coming to Hollywood, his hometown, because he had been in Predator and Running Man, and he'd been hobnobbing with the Hollywood celebrities, and he considered himself one of those. So he thought he was going to be coming home to Hollywood, and by the time we got to this WrestleMania, not only was it moved out of the Coliseum and indoors, Jesse was gone from WWE. So weird time, but it did put Gorilla and Bobby, I believe, on commentary for most of this show, and this was wrapping up the tail end of Bobby's managerial career, because if I remember right, when we start the show, I think Duggan's going to come out and do commentary for the opening match because Heenan has to back up Barbarian and Haku. But right after this, it was the end of Heenan managing. I don't know how many more matches he actually managed beyond WrestleMania 7. We Are Pro Wrestling, you might know. Also good to see Victor Colon and David Brown. Nice. I'm glad you're here as well. Top channel donator, Michael Kumo. Got to come up with a cool nickname for you. Mentioned to you yesterday. Good to see you as well. Glad you're here, my friend. Good to see Sam, Steven, Ramon, Ben, Young, Davey, Danny. Mike Witt is in the house as well. Skull, Vikings, Bubba. I'm not sure if I got you. That should knock out all of the hellos for now. And let's start getting our Peacocks and our WrestleMania 7s ready. That way we're not going too late for those of you who have to get up and work in the morning and all that good stuff. So let me get my stuff pulled up here. In the meantime, and during this time, I hope you have gotten WrestleMania 7 pulled up on your Peacock, wherever you may be doing that. And then in just a couple of seconds, we're going to do a countdown from 3, if I can talk, and we will all hit play together. So I got to do the double mouse deal. One mouse on my timer, the other mouse on the play button. All right, and I am queued up and ready to go. So I'll give you guys a second to get queued up as well, and we're ready to rock. Yeah, Bobby Heenan had a busy night on the show, but I think he only did commentary and managed that one match. Or no, I guess he was still managing Perfect. Okay, he probably was still managing Perfect, because Perfect would work Boss Man tonight, right? He wasn't with Coach yet. Maybe not. I don't know when they brought in Tolis for that. It must have been right after this, because Coach was his manager for SummerSlam. So, yeah, so I guess Bobby was still technically a manager. I know Andre the Giant shows up on the show, so there's all sorts of cool things going down. Right on. Well, hopefully you've got your Peacock or your WWE Network or your VCR ready to go here, and we can go ahead and mash, as they used to say in the South, this play button. Whenever I took a keyboarding class in school when I lived in North Carolina, mash the space bar button. I'm like, mash it? Why am I mashing it? Why not press it? Anyway, we're going to mash the play button together here if you guys are ready. All right, my fingers are set. Y'all ready to rock? Here we go. From a countdown from 3. 3, 2, 1, play. Almost undefeated. I think I only goofed up one time during all of these watch-alongs. Do not skip the intro, by the way. We're going to watch this thing straight through, this entire Stars and Stripes themed opening here. World Wrestling Federation Champion. Who was it? It was one of y'all. Was it John? Who was it on Twitter just a little while ago said this is your WrestleMania theme. Mine too. This is a timeless WrestleMania theme. I still love it. Shout out to Rose Scythe who did an awesome cover for this, and he allowed me to use it in the countdown opening there. This is my favorite WrestleMania theme song. I guess they used this WrestleMania 6, 7, and 8 before moving to that weird version at WrestleMania 9. All right, Los Angeles Sports Arena. I mean, still a packed house, but I think they were hoping to have 100,000 there. And I actually think they could have done... Oh, there's that Hogan look-alike. He's been at a few shows. I actually think they could have had 100K if they would have gone with Warrior and Hogan in a rematch. I think they could have pulled it off. Oh, yeah, Willie Nelson, baby. He's wearing a styrofoam replica belt, which is the best. Oh, Willie. Since Willie is in the ring, I'm going to go ahead and eat my little treat here. Actually, I better eat half of it because this is a 3.5-hour show. Maybe 3/4 of it. That outfit, nothing better. Look at Gorilla in the background there. It's a very stoic vision of him. He almost looks like a ghost. I know, if this would have been in the Coliseum, would have been great. I think Vince maybe underestimated how many fans would give a shit about Hogan winning a predictable match against an evil foreign heel. He's trying to tap back into that 80s shit that got Hogan over, but I think they could have packed it out with Warrior again. I would have not even had Warrior drop the title. I would have had him carry it right into WrestleMania 7 for a rematch. Brian Hipp, I'm not aware of any other proposed original main event for this show other than potentially Hogan and Warrior, but from what I understand, Slaughter was contacted to do this way back in the summer of '90. So this was a planned main event for quite a while. It's not like they came up with this last minute or anything. So I'm not sure, Brian. So let me know what you know. Okay. Oh, Skydome. So L.A. pitched WrestleMania 6. Interesting. Skydome won the bid. Huh. I don't know why I remember this. I probably haven't watched this opening match of WrestleMania 7 since I was a teenager, but I just knew Duggan came out dressed like Uncle Sam. Duggan with the spiced up rehash of Big John Studd's theme. Babyface theme, anyway. Look at those pants on Duggan. My God. I never disliked Duggan. He was always fun. Oh, it was originally going to be Tugboat before Slaughter. Okay, I might have heard that because Tugboat was aligned with Hogan the previous year. Got injured by Earthquake and could have turned heel. They could have done the Crush Savage type of thing with Tugboat with Hogan. But I'm glad it wasn't Tugboat. Career-ending match. How fucked up was this, too, that Savage would lose, but then he'd be the one to come back to the ring and Warrior would leave. Yeah, Brian, I think I do remember that Tugboat story coming up a few times. I had kind of forgotten about it. Well, let's be happy they didn't do that, as I almost yanked my microphone cord out. Yeah, the way I understand it is WWE were acting as if there might be a security risk here. But I just think they weren't selling tickets, to be honest. Or either that or it became apparent they weren't going to be able to fill that for whatever reason. All right, the Rockers, good to see them in here. They are 0 for 2 so far, correct? Lost at WrestleMania 5 to the, what are they, the African Towers? Not the what the fuck are they called? Twin Towers and Orient Express at WrestleMania 6. And 1 year later, Sean will be in the ring with Tito, with Sherry and the whole deal. Or did he have Sherry yet at WrestleMania 8? I think he did. Oh, the VCR 8-year tape, that sucks, man. That happens. It sucked when these things would come unraveled. I've had it happen a few times. Let's put this in the background here. Look at Haku. And at this time, too, Barbarian and Haku, they were just together. You know, like they were just together for no real reason. Previous year, Haku had Andre as a tag partner. And now he's just kind of slapped with the Barbarian. They didn't do much. Lost a lot, too. Final Mania match for Haku, I believe. I don't recall him coming back ever. Cheers to a Kirkland energy shot. I already drank half of it. Yeah, the Barbarian antlers was so weird. Barbarian might still be semi-active. Everybody in this match is still with us. Referee Danny Davis is our official. Yeah, Haku came back in 2001, but I don't think he worked WrestleMania 17. So this was his last Mania that he competed in anyway. Haku competed in... Shit, I don't think he was at 3. I don't think he worked 3. I don't think Islanders worked 3. So he worked 4 and 5 and 6 and 7. So we got Sean and Haku in the ring. Who do y'all think would win in a shoot between these guys? Might be close. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if Haku would really have what it takes to get by Sean in a real fight, but he might. What do you guys think? Sean would have him beat probably in a few seconds, huh? I am pretty sure Danny Davis, the referee, could beat Sean in a fight. Yeah, the previous year, WrestleMania 6, they would... Oh, wow, big double clothesline by Barbarian. He was so good. He was so agile for a big guy. I loved him when he was like in Powers of Pain, and even before that. But this getup I didn't really like. It was cool to see him come back. He replaced Samu as a head shrinker a few years later. Yeah, a lot of these guys, all 3 of these guys would be in WCW in just a couple of years. Ming would be there within 2, I think. I know Ming was there by at least 93. I remember seeing him. Oh, yeah, I saw Buff Bagwell's been getting some props. It was so funny. I had just looked at his YouTube channel the night before. He tweeted the deal that got him all the attention. And I remember saying, I'm like, he kind of looks like he's on drugs or something. I didn't know how, like, what to make of it. But, seeing him come out and support like that was pretty cool. It was getting him a lot of love, but I was also getting him a lot of hate. I went on Amazon to see if I could get, like, a hillbilly bumpkin shield for him just to block all the hillbilliness coming towards his way, but I couldn't find any. They were all out. So best of luck to Buff Bagwell for managing all all the crazy white trash shit that's going to be hurled his way in the next few days. But best of luck to him. He's had a rough go of it. I know he had that car accident and all sorts of health problems, so hopefully he'll be all right. Marty trying, nope. Yeah, it was a year before this that Powers of Pain had just split. Fuji had sold him off. And at least one of them Barbarian had a match at Mania. I don't know if Warlord did, or Warlord did. Look at Marty sticking and moving. I mean, the way Barbarian's dressed, he should be like partners with Berserker or something. Or they should have at least look at what Haku's wearing. That's basically what Barbarian used to wear when he was in Powers of Pain. They should just put them together. I actually think Haku and Barbarian are a better team than Barbarian and Warlord. They wouldn't draw so many comparisons to LOD that way. I kind of wish they just had better, matching gear. Because by the time the WCW days came along, maybe physically they had seen better days. Nice double team move. But I think if they would have kind of dressed Haku and Barbarian in, a similar gear and make them just feel more of a team. Because this felt more like two singles guys ain't got nothing for, so we'll put them together type of thing. Duggan was an interesting choice for this guest spot, considering it was only one match, and they could have put anybody out there. They could have just thrown Regis out there. He would have been hilarious. Yeah, K-Dog, you're right. This card has got a lot of matches on it, too. Because back in these days of WrestleMania, they did have a lot of kind of just throwaway matches or buffer matches or cool-off matches that didn't really necessarily need to be on the show. I mean, hell, I think on this show we have, is it Valentine and Earthquake? Is that what it is? Or something? And it might be Mountie and Tito Santana. Matches like that, I think that we'll see later on that we didn't really need, but they're here anyway. I remember being disappointed in the IC title match. Thought for sure Boss Man was going to win. But I'd go on to be a little happier at SummerSlam. Oh, yeah, Regis was out there for the main event. So what was it? Regis was on commentary. Did Trebek do the announcing? And I guess Marla was the timekeeper. Is that how it went? Yeah, my parents were cool. My mom was not a big wrestling fan, but she certainly didn't get in the way of me being a fan. She didn't go out of her way to get me tickets for anything or anything like that, but she certainly didn't care that I watched it. So they were cool. They would get me the WrestleManias and get those for me on pay-per-view. A couple times I think I spent my own money on them, but whenever I lived at home and when I was in school, they would order them for me. We watched all of them, and so I remember sitting in the living room with my parents watching this one. And later on, when Savage and Liz would hug, my mom actually cried like she was crying, and she hates wrestling. But even people who don't like wrestling couldn't help but get caught up in that, because she remembered them from when I watched previously. She knew who Randy Savage and Macho Man were, and to see them come back together after a couple years made her happy. Oh yeah, Demolition against Oh, yeah, against Tenryu and Kitao. That was the end of Demolition, too. I can't even believe they were even on this show. If you ask me, this is where they should have put Demolition and Legion of Doom. But Demolition and Legion of Doom was handled a lot in the same way as Hogan and Flair in WWE. WWE had the dream match of a lifetime in the tag team division and, in the World Heavyweight division, and they fucked them both up. As much as I hate to say, as much as I loved Heart Foundation and Demolition at SummerSlam 1990, I feel like that should have been Road Warriors. Get that match done while Demolition is still hot. Don't wait until they lose the titles and cool off and add a third man and start wearing masks. Then you give us the LOD shit. Fuck that, man. I mean, I know we were getting on live events all over the place, but book it on pay-per-view, man. I don't know what they were thinking back then. Look out, Marty. Big headbutt coming. Look how agile Barbarian is on there. Jesus. Come on, let's hot tag Sean. Barbarian should make it. There goes Sean. Yeah, that's right. We've got Dibiase and Virgil. I think Piper got in an accident or something. He was on crutches for that whole thing. And I loved it, too, because he was the one that helped get Virgil to turn on Dibiase. Years later, when Piper would show up in WCW, he looked right at Vincent in the NWO. He goes, I taught you how to fight. Fucking great. I love that. That's why I like when AEW does stuff like that, when they kind of do a callback to two guys that might have been in WWE together, and they mention it. Fans consider it mentioning WWE too much. I just consider it paying attention to history. But I always love those comments to Vincent by Piper. Big Sunset. Get on there, Danny Davis. You were way out of position, son. Double drop kick. Oh, here we go. All right, they're going to set up the finish. I don't know what they do here, but I can tell Haku's about to get it. Barbarian's gone. We are, what, a few minutes into this match? This is definitely the finish. Big drop kick. Drop kick from Marty. What's Sean going to do? Oh, nice high cross. And that's it. Hell yeah. I miss the Rockers. That was a good opener. Did Sean and Tito open 8? Okay, help me out here. And who opened WrestleMania 9? Did Sean open 3 straight WrestleManias? We Are Pro Wrestling? I mean, I could Google this in 10 seconds. It's just, I thought I remember Sean and Tito being real early in WrestleMania 8. And I think Sean and Tatanka was pretty early in 9, too. Oh, look at these guys. Marla is the only living person in this photo here. Look how hot Marla was. What year was this? 1991, huh? Sean and Tatanka opened 9. So what about 8? I don't think I've ever thought about that before. If he indeed opened 8 with Tito, then yeah, that's 3 in a row. That's got to be a record. Earthquake. Regis. Look how young Regis is. He tipped over a Pizza Hut delivery truck and ate everything inside. Now that makes me nervous, Gene. Regis, yes, Gene, you're beautiful. Thank you. Regis, you're beautiful. I love, but Gene, you're beautiful. Marla, so are you. How in the hell did that woman have a mushroom penis in her mouth? I'll never understand. I'm excited. I don't know who any of these people are, but I'm excited. Vince, you're such, or Vince, Gene, you're the pervious. Look at Alex Trebek. What a stud. I have known multiple women in my life who think Alex Trebek is hot. Ask any women that you know, and they're going to say Alex Trebek is like a super handsome man. I bet you. He's a stud. Look at him. Gene, how do you not know the answer to Jeopardy? Even in 1991, everybody knew how to play fucking Jeopardy, man. Don't penalize him. Okay, look closely here. They're going to show Dino Bravo in a minute, okay? I remember being freaked out at this as a kid. Watch him here. See him running around the ring? Wait till the camera just shows his face. Tell me there's not something wrong with his face. Look, doesn't he look like, it just looks like he was in a massive fight or something. I remember seeing this, and you got to remember back then, like these little TVs and stuff. I remember seeing, I'm like, is that a different guy? Like his face looks so different. So I don't know what happened to Dino right around this time. I mean, he died, I think, a year later or 2 years later in that murder. But I remember seeing his face there as a 14-year-old and being like, whoa, what the fuck's wrong with him? It was just a personal childhood memory of mine. Underrated WWE classic theme, Texas Tornado. It slaps? Is that what the kids say? It slaps? I always thought it did. Get out of the way, Howard. Kerry's got to do his deal. And we would be, I think, 1 year away from Kerry's death and 2 years away from Dino's death. I'm pretty sure they both died in like February. One in 92 and one in 93. Something like that. But yeah, both of these guys would both be deceased within like 2 years. And we've got Kyoto as the ref for this one. This is another one of those matches that you wonder why they even bothered to have. Yeah, as a kid, I don't think I understood that he might have gotten a bruise or he might have been in a fight. I just thought his face had changed. And I was like, what's going on? The pendulum is swung. Gorilla love to say that. I don't know if I'd be saying it in a Texas Tornado and Dino match, though. Oh, you might have been right. They were both in 93. So yeah, they both well, now we see a 92. I thought Kerry was 92. I actually did think he was 92, but okay, yeah, they're okay. So I was thinking they were a year apart. They were a month apart. Shit. Who else? 93. Eddie Gilbert died in 93 too. Wasn't a great year. Or no, Gilbert died in 95. Eddie Gilbert died in 95. Somebody else did die in 93, though. Andre died in 93. This will be Andre, then Kerry, then Dino. Trying to think of what Bravo did. Bravo had just dyed his hair at WrestleMania 3 and helped split up the Dream Team. Or he might have still been a brunette back then. 4, he was in the tournament. I think he lost to Morocco. 5, he beat Ronnie Garvin. 6, I want to say he worked Duggan. I just don't remember if he won or not. And now this one. Oh, there's the claw. Come on, give us that discus punch. Take him out. Man, I would have had Kerry after beating Perfect. I would have had him keep the Intercontinental title all the way through up until WrestleMania 7 and do Kerry and Warrior in the main event. Title for title like you did Hogan. And, oh, boom. There's the big punch right to the top of the head. That's probably it. Might have been interesting. Carrying the Warrior. All right, Von Erich. Oh, he would always bow. Kerry always did the bow. Look at the Warlord. He looks like just a real jacked up Stone Cold, like when he's got that shit off of him and he's just in his normal tights. Ah, Slick. Shout out to Slick. He is right there. See him? Just chilling. Slick, hanging out on the shelf. I love Slick. I fucking love Slick. I don't know why Slick was never brought back in for anything. He's crazy. Perfect did sell the heck out of that punch, but if you go back and watch the SummerSlam match, Perfect rotated the wrong way. He like got hit, but then turned this way when he got hit instead of like spinning this way. But he still sold the shit out of it. Yeah, Davey had just come back in. The Warlord says. Winston's talking. Winston wants me to tell the Warlord there is no bull. Can we just call him Matilda or her Matilda? I remember once when Savage was on commentary, Bulldog must have been doing a promo, and he was saying, he was like, Warlord says he's going to beat me, and then he says he's going to do this, and then we get back to the arena, and Savage goes, Warlord says he's going to beat him. He says that. Really funny. Guess he had to be there. I keep calling Warlord Wardlow now. Finkel still rocking some hair. We got Freddie Sparta as our referee for this. Slicky Slick in there as manager. Matilda's brother Winston. This match, let's just call it a very juicy match. Yeah, this was kind of before the steroid stuff really started. But look, I mean, just look at the size of Davey. And Warlord, for that matter. British Bulldog's probably going to win, whether he wants to or not. And I'm trying to think, the Bulldogs... Well, the Bulldogs did cross paths a bit with the Powers of Pain in WWE, but they were both baby faces. Yeah, they were. As a matter of fact, I think the Bulldogs' last night in the company was the night that the Powers of Pain turned heel. So they had been around each other before, but look at this big... Doesn't he look like kind of Austin, sort of? Like an Austin Goldberg mashup. I don't know when the WWBF exactly launched, but it was up and running by the time they got to the next WrestleMania, because I know Luger was there promoting it. Look at this crucifix. It's back from Davey's younger days in the Bulldogs. What's up, Crow Weeper? Good to see you. Mr. E, good to see you as well. Anybody else that I've missed who's popped in since we've been going here? Will you? There we go. There's our first will you stop of the night. He might have said it before. It's the first time I've heard it, though. Gotta take a drink every time he says, will you stop? Oof. He's waving. Nice. I remember I was on Cape Cod. I was in Cape Cod visiting my dad. He worked at, he owned a video rental store. It was actually a really cool place, even though I only spent a few summers there, like being able to be behind the scenes there and put the tapes together and shrink wrap them and put them on the shelf and check shit in. It was real fun. And we had a TV kind of sitting up in the corner on the shelf, and he would let me just hang out there at the store with him when he worked the counter or worked in the office. And I would just, sit there and mess around in the store. It was fun. And so it was like I was there on like a Saturday afternoon or whatever, and I turned on Superstars, and that was when British Bulldog made his debut. Or maybe it wasn't his debut. It was the first time I had seen him back on TV. So that would have been like the summer of 1990. And I was like, look at there. Bulldogs, he had long hair, and it was I remember the connection was kind of fuzzy, and I'm like, holy shit, Bulldog's back, and I couldn't really hear the commentary, so I saw the dog, but I'm like, is that Matilda? Like, I had no idea. So I was just happy to see him back. But that's how I was made aware of Bulldog's return. I was on vacation in Cape Cod, hanging out behind the desk at a video rental store. Find somebody out in the world with that exact same story. We are coming up in May of the 20-year anniversary of British Bulldog's death, and to me it still seems kind of recent, at least in my own wrestling fan memory. 2 decades is a long time, man. There's so many fans that have zero memories of Davey in the ring at this point. He's been gone for so long, but it doesn't seem like it, Dynamite Kid got hurt when they were champs going into WrestleMania 3. That's why they dropped the titles. The whole match that they lost to the Hearts, Dynamite didn't work. He stayed on the outside. They injured him before the match, and Davey worked basically a handicap match against both Hart Foundation's members and an evil referee in Danny Davis, who fucked him out of the title. Dynamite got back, and he was in the ring by WrestleMania 3, but he was really never 100% again. And then about a year later, I think Jacques did the gimmick in the face with the quarters, and what a mess. Look at this. These guys are so much muscle going on here. It's hard to have mobility. Big sunset. There you go. Oh, he's going to do... Oh, nope. That is a big man to be sunset flipping. Yeah, holy mackerel is right, Gorilla. Gorilla's all about them pendulums swinging tonight, isn't he? Look at how big Davy's arms are. His arms don't even lay flat on the mat. They're just like hovering above. Jesus Christ. The Queen told me he's a disgrace to England. I love it. Bobby Heenan. There's a full now. He's so beefy you can't even get your look at his fingers aren't even locked in that. This is like Hercules and Billy Jack from WrestleMania 3. Only not as good. I thought they might put the belt on Bulldog in 95. I really did. Forget about the Brett match, which I loved. I actually thought he had a chance to beat Diesel at that In Your House because Diesel had already had a run with the title for nearly a year at that point. And if they had plans to put the belt back on Brett, which they did, Davey could have made a great transitional champion to put it on a heel so Brett could take it from him. And instead, they basically went the babyface match route at Survivor Series instead, which I also loved. So I'm not upset with what they did in 95, but I certainly think you could have fit a Bulldog title run in there somewhere. Totally. I think he should have won the WCW title too, and he never did when he was there. That might have been some of Davey's own doing, to be honest. Oh, wow, he broke the full Nelson. Warlord is upset. Look at that. Look at the size of Warlord. He is walking around the ring with this guy on his shoulder. Just going for a little stroll. Big power slam, my God. Ball game. Big win for Davey. I loved that. I remember that match being happy. Because I was real. British Bulldogs were my favorite tag team until the Hart Foundation came around. I loved them. So just to see one of them back getting wins and a singles now was pretty cool. Bulldog has got a distinction of being involved in two very strange back-to-back six-man tag matches at WrestleMania. One with a referee as his opponent and the other one with a manager as his opponent at 3 and 4. So I'm glad they got away from that by the time he came back. Yeah, it was the Bulldog and Vader match. I think in 93 was his best chance to win that. The Nasty Boys. Well, all these... Well, Gene's not with us, but the rest of them are. I don't want to watch this match. Can we skip it? It hurts. Whenever I see Bret Hart get pinned, I think I lose like a year of my life. So I'm sacrificing a lot for you guys. I hope you appreciate it. Least you can do is subscribe and stuff. The stinking pink. It's a pot calling a kettle black there, Knobsy Knobs, you smelly fuck. You just look like you smell. Bret Hart gets so much more pussy than both of you, so don't even be fronting like you're better than the Hart Foundation. Oh, they're going to both blow their noses and... Oh. Oh, COVID. Not recommended. Jimmy Hart loves it. Oh, that's right. Thank you. Neidhart does get pinned. I forgot. Well, he still... I should have said loses instead of pinned. It still counts. Okay, so if he loses but doesn't get pinned, it's only 6 months of my life, not a year. Whew. All right, that's better. Jim Neidhart. Neidhart's better than both of them, too. I think Neidhart could win this match handicap. I like how he gets all fucking freaked out. I love Brett. God. 18 months later, that guy would be world champion. How crazy is that to think about? I was surprised enough he won the IC title, even though you could tell it was going in that direction. I had a hard time believing it because Brett was already singles before, and he was losing to Perfect and shit. So I wasn't sold on him winning at SummerSlam until he did. And then, so that blew my mind enough. And then a year later, I turn on TV, and Brett's got the Winged Eagle. I'm like, what? This theme that the Nasty Boys use is very similar to their WCW theme, except I think they sing in the WCW version, but the background is virtually identical. No, Mike, I did not have a pair of Bret Hart sunglasses. I did not. I was a big Bret Hart fan, but I didn't go out of my way to get a ton of Bret merch. Even when I was a kid, and I had this great, when I lived with my parents when I was in high school and stuff, I had this great loft over the garage. I had it made as a kid, and I had like a framed Bret Hart picture on the wall, but that was it. I didn't have any, my room wasn't like a shrine to Bret or anything like that. And I don't think I really had any merch. I just liked him the most, you know? I had all the magazine. I had a subscription to WWE Magazine. I saw the glasses, available in the catalog, but I bought very little from there. I miss this old Hart Foundation theme. Simple but classic. Oh, look at that. Remember those, well, maybe you don't. If you're young, you don't remember. But that printer paper you could print out, like in the 80s, the long banners you could make. We did that shit all the time in, like, middle school. I mean, our whole school, I think, only had, like, 5 computers in it. Like, the whole thing. I took my keyboarding classes on typewriters. That's how old I am. I learned how to type on an actual fucking typewriter with paper. Man. Look at Macaulay Culkin. He's not Home Alone now. He's at WrestleMania. Look how young he is. That was like a year after the movie. Macaulay Culkin. I'm glad to see that he's kind of got his shit together, too, because he was veering off track there for a while, had a lot of drama. I still think he's incredibly weird, but I don't think he's battling maybe the demons that he maybe once was. I think he's got his act together. You met Bret Hart 4 times. You know what? I feel bad for not remembering now. Which one of you met Bret Hart and had him shout me out and sent me the video? I can't remember. And I'm sorry for not. But I know that happened sometime in the last couple years. I wish Natty could cut a promo like her dad. Imagine a women's version of Jim Neidhart. That would be a badass character, actually. Natty does not have what it takes, but imagine if, like, Rhea Ripley was Neidhart's daughter. She could scream in the promos and stuff, or maybe even Shotzi, or somebody like that that's just a little bit more charismatic and fun. Here comes Sags. It's an unfortunate last name. It's a good thing he's a big guy. Could you imagine being a kid and having a name like that? What's up, Sags? And plus, back in those days, I all think we know what kids would probably do to that word and what the first letter of that word they would change it to. We had a girl in my high school. Her last name was Craps, like C-R-A-P. And she got so fucking trolled for that I didn't even think it was that big a deal. I'm like, Craps is hilarious, don't get me wrong, but there's even funnier ones, basically, in my mind. But she got trolled so hard for it, and then her dad had I think he was a dentist or something, And they wound up actually changing the name. I remember one summer in between grades, we came back and then we did the yearbook, and her name had changed to Caps. They had taken out the R and added an extra P. And so it was Caps instead of Craps. And I'm like, oh, look at there. They fixed it. But the damage was done, you're already known as Craps for that long. It's too late now, but I think it was, you don't want to go to Dr. Craps to get your teeth worked on, so I can understand. Look at Neidhart fucking everybody up. Crowd loving it. Cheering for some, well, actually one. Neidhart's American, but Bret's Canadian. Had Jimmy always worn that helmet with the Nasty Boys? I'm trying to think if that was a regular thing he wore. Because otherwise, that would have been stuck out like a sore thumb that they were going to use that in the finish. Oh, yeah, Nate Dogg. I actually knew two guys with the last name Gay. But they were both it was weird. Both of them were black guys who played sports. One was a football player, one was a basketball player. Nobody fucked with them. So they got no shit for their names at all. But if they would have been a little dorky white kid with glasses, they might have gotten picked on a lot. But nobody's going to be fucking with them guys. I liked them both, too. They were cool. Michael, thanks for the $5, brother. As Bret Hart hammers away on the head of Sags. Didn't Anvil also submit to Martel when they lost the tags in the first run? Yeah, they did. He did. He gave up in the Boston Crab. Watched that on my parents' bed. I was in there that night because they were occupying the other TV, and so I went in my parents' bedroom, sat on their bed, and turned on the little TV that was only about this big on top of their dresser and watched Strikeforce win the titles. Leaped. They had a thing, like their bed was like one of those 4-poster things with a roof on it, and I jumped up and hit my head on the top of the thing. It was padded, but that's how excited I was. Or surprised I was, I should say. Wasn't expecting to see a title change for some reason in that match. It just happened, and I'm like, holy shit. Yeah, I mean, like it or not, Anvil was the Jannetty. I mean, Bret was the star of this team. I knew I was a Bret Hart fan. It was like 1987, and me and my, I guess my Michigan friends, we were like playing wrestling in the backyard. We were going to be the Hart Foundation, and I was literally willing to fist fight over being Bret Hart. I'm like, I don't care what we do. I am Bret Hart. He's like, no, I'm Bret Hart. I'm like, no, I'm Bret Hart. And I was not about to take no for an answer. I would have died before I was Jim. Not because I didn't like Jim. It's just because I love Bret. And I don't remember the outcome or what we did, but I just remember that day insisting that I'm like, no, we are not even proceeding until you agree that I'm Bret Hart. This conversation is over. Shout out to Chris. I miss you. Yeah, I agree. If you guys have never checked out Hearts against Tully and Arn at SummerSlam 88 or 89, excuse me, that's a beauty. And it's kind of a dream match in a lot of ways. I'm sure Tully and Arn coming in, that's probably one of the first teams that was on their radar, for sure, was the Hearts. Probably above anybody else. I remember I can't remember if the SummerSlam was the first time they wrestled. It probably was, but it might not have been. But I remember the first time seeing them wrestle, I was like, this is pretty fucking big. You know, I remember at least acknowledging in my head that, holy shit, these are the two guys I see on the other channel all the time, you know, coming to work, you know, the Hart Foundation. This match has definitely never happened before. And I was loving it. But the Harts were going to be second fiddle because Busters came in to win the titles. Harts wouldn't get their deal back until the following year, so... You know, they had to be the bitch of the place for a while. You know, Bret's first singles run, he had to do some jobs until they tried it a second time and it worked out. And the tags was the same deal. They had to do a couple of years of jobs before they found their way back. 2 nearly years of just floundering until they found their way back to the titles after losing them. Brett is in the ring, isolated. Knobs has got a chin lock on him. Brett, I will not sit here and watch you be out-wrestled by Brian fucking Knobs. And does Knobs have his own name tattooed on his arm? Do people do that? Greg. Morgan. No. Nope. Don't do that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I tweeted somebody just today about Brett not leaving in 97. We've talked about it a bunch. There's a whole bunch of things that have been different, but to me, there's only one thing that would have been different, and that is Owen Hart would still be alive. They would have not made him the Blue Blazer. There would have been no reason to if Brett was there. And even if they did get that far, and Owen was worried about being up there, and he told Brett that, Brett would make sure that Owen isn't going to go fucking up there. So either way, Owen would not have been up in the rafters that night, and I really think with Brett's presence in the WWE, Owen would have had other storyline things to do that would not be the Blue Blazer. He'd probably still be associated with Brett, still potentially being aligned with him, maybe even breaking up and feuding again or doing something, but whatever he did, it wouldn't be Blue Blazer, you know? Blue Blazer was a product of that whole product shift of WWE after Brett left, going into Austin, really ramping up the racy storylines and shit like that, and just doing all sorts of random weird shit. So they brought the Blue Blazer back, and I honestly just don't think that would have happened with Brett there. Come on, Brett. Oh, and Knobs takes out Anvil before he can get the hot tag and nails Brett. Good tag team wrestling, like it or not. Nasties know what they're doing. They have really never branched off and gone singles or found other tag team partners. They've always been together. I gotta change my Mania Reunite. Oh, look out, Brett. Nice. Oh, and there's the tag now. Come on, Brett. Oh, routine. Yeah, Bubba. Routine. Just a little. Brett's not going to see it. Earl, turn around, son. They always did the spot, especially in the 90s. Such a classic tag team trope. Referee doesn't see the tag. Here's the megaphone. Nails, Knobs, yes. There might be a chance. There's a tag. Ref sees it this time. Come on, Anvil. Throw the standing dropkick. Come on. That's my favorite. Could he still do it in 91? Let's find out. Come on, give us that dropkick. It's fucking magnificent. Anvil's taking him down. Poor Anvil. I mean, this would be rough for him because there wasn't going to be much for him to do once they moved Brett to the IC. Big power slam. Jesus. Okay, all right. Here comes Brett. Now there's going to be some shenanigans here. This is generally how you would do it. Ref's got his back. There we go. Now Brett's going to nail Jimmy or something, and then, yep, there you go. Oh, Jimmy always took a good punch, too, didn't he? It was tough to see it through the ropes, but it looked like he ate it. Here comes the heart attack. Down goes Knobs. And look, Earl. Come on, Earl. And there's the helmet. Motherfucker. Oh. Looking Brett. Oh, I don't think I remember Jimmy grabbing the leg. That's brilliant. Fucking revenge after all those years on the Hart Foundation for ditching him and winning the titles, and then he winds up stealing them back from him and holding Brett's leg to do it. See, at 14, I couldn't see what WWE's vision was, so I was pissed. I thought the Hart Foundation was a great team. They were my favorite tag team. And I was like, you got to be fucking shitting me. These fuckers, the Nasty Boys, they just got there. They literally just signed. With other teams there like the LOD. Why wasn't that this? Why wasn't it Hearts and LOD for the titles, It made no sense. They really should have done that. Hearts should have put over the Road Warriors here, instead. But my sorrow would turn to joy in just a few months. Oh, good. It's blindfold match time. I love Jimmy kicking and being happy. Jimmy's the best. Well, he's got that arrogance. Oh, yeah. They did this shit with the arrogance. Right in the eye. Look at Jake sell this like he got bleach in his eye. See, this is not what you would do. You would be running to the back for water immediately. The vision impairment. Oh, he's completely blind now. Look at Bruce. Oh, and he slapped him. Look at Pat Patterson, Rene Goulet. They're all here. Danny Davis. Tony Gurria. Oh, and DDT to Brother Love. That freaked me out. I don't know that, clear contacts exist when I'm 14 in 1991. So I see that, and I'm like, holy fuck. Maybe he really did squirt him with the arrogance. He's got a hold of Tito. Strike Force going at it. Be careful, Tito. Don't get DDT'd. I mean, you would think if there was some sort of chemical that squirted in your eye and it made your eye disappear, it wouldn't come back. Look, his eyes are back. Another fond memory of my mom from this show was during this match because she got a kick out of it. So as much as she did not like wrestling, I caught her a couple times enjoying it. She cried during Macho Man and Liz, and she cried. There's some spot here that I think it's just like when Martel just drops an elbow on the mat or something, and she just giggled. So I was like, as long as you can at least sort of understand why I like this weird shit, then I'm satisfied. So I was happy with my mom's enjoyment. Jake had awesome theme music. Loved what they used for him. Before this became Jake's theme music, they did it's like a workout vignette of Hogan and Savage just hanging and banging in one of the gyms, and I think it was just Hogan. And they used this song during the workout. Actually, I think it was right before his match with Andre. That's what it was on that NBC show. And then they would recycle it to use for Jake, and it fit him perfect. LA Sports Arena. I have never been to that arena. I'm excited to go to the Forum. Oh, so you can even see the window there. That's probably to breathe. But going to the Forum at Dynamite right after Double or Nothing, so that'll be fun. Here come Jake and Model looking for each other. See, back in the day, prior to, higher resolution, even though this wasn't, filmed in 4K or anything, you could still see much better now. You can see that there's actually some breathing space there. But on the TV I was watching, and I was watching on one of those, Those TVs that was basically encased in some wood. It was one of these that this was being watched on. So it's hard to see. It's just looks like they're wearing a black hood. And I remember wondering, I'm like, how the fuck do you breathe in that? I mean, obviously you can see. But they did a good job. I think Model did an even better job of, because he's just so spastic, like when you watch him. Jake's trying to just go on his instincts and his senses, and Model's like, he's all over the place. And they just constantly, there you go, he's got him. Oh, nice. Nice roll out of that. I mean, the fans were doing more laughing during this match than anything, but like, I don't know if WWE intended it to be funny because, I mean, it was a storyline that was supposed to be serious. I mean, he took away a man's vision and that sort of thing, but the blow-off was fucking comedy. See, look at that. Jake just ran away. That's kind of like Samoa Joe, the way he walked away from the top rope bumps. Yeah, Martello was an excellent body actor. I mean, he would do the post spot and he'd sell it and everything. He'd be a great pantomime. Yeah, this is the same guy that would just turn into such an evil son of a bitch in just a few months, doing everything he did to Savage. Oh, they touched booties. That's cute. Down goes Model. I completely forgot this is Undertaker's first match. Coming up here later. Barracudas. There's a body slam. That is definitely the spot that my mom giggled in. She just thought that was the funniest shit. Yeah, I was marking out. I'm like, this is hilarious. This is the first time that WrestleMania had really given me this. I mean, we got it a little bit at WrestleMania 3 with the little guys, little Beaver and stuff, but shit, even at the end of that, Bundy smashed the little guy. So there wasn't anything really that was that funny or comical up until this point, and so this was just a trip to me. Oh, see, Jake, look at that, pointing. Smart. Oh, Lord, Martel and Danny. Get out of there, Danny Davis. I really don't know what he ever did after WWE. I remember refereeing there, or him refereeing there, I'd say up until 95. And then after that, I don't recall seeing him anymore. And then never saw him again. I'm sure he does appearances and stuff, but just don't ever know why he left and why he never turned up anywhere else in wrestling. And he was just done after that. He had some serious heat with me when I was a kid. Bret Hart and Randy Savage would benefit from his evil. But at the time, you know, they weren't my favorites yet. So I was really upset when Savage and the Hart Foundation stole victories with his help. Yeah. Bobby Heenan always has great suggestions for cheating. Just lift up the fucking hood and peek. Big deal. Oh, man, Pyro will get you. I used to go to shows during the kind of early days of Pyro, and it was nuts, man. Oh, God, he's going to grab Damien. I think we should show some respect and love to Damien. Damien is in his last few months and weeks of existence here, because right after this, they move into the earthquake thing where he murders Damien, kills him on television. So gnarly. I think that's why Jake did what he did. I think that's why Jake turned heel and he was a changed man after that. Okay, he's got him now. The fans are helping him out. I mean, at some point we need some physicality here. All right, now they're about to go to the outside. Yeah, I felt Kane's pyro, and I felt his pyro back in the early days and how hot it was. I've sat really close to the ring a few times during his shit in like the 90s. Oh, my God. Singe your eyebrows off, man. Look at him. Martel jabbing that chair. It's like a video game. That's what you can do when you're like testing out your controls. I know in the Sega Genesis game, you can do that move. You can do that same move with the chair. You can jab it. Chair shot at the ring post. Ring post no-sells it. Oh, he's got him now. No, Martel is not in the Hall of Fame. He's another guy who should have been in there 2 decades ago. Boston Crab on Jake. Jake's lanky as fuck, too. Jake powers out with a little help from Davis. I was at the first Inferno match, but I was a little further away from the ring, so I didn't physically feel the heat from that one. But I'm sure it was hot as fuck, especially for Taker and Kane, who are fully clothed in the middle of that. Oh, there's the DDT. But can he find him? Jake. That's just basic ring awareness there, even if you're, even blind. If you hit the DDT, he's right there, not moving. That's got to be hot as hell under there. Jesus. I think he even said fuck just then. Yeah, I would not. That thing's got to be miserable to breathe under. Plus, you're trying to do something athletic where you're breathing hard. No wonder that match was so slow-paced. It's not like they can be running around out there. I remember at WrestleMania 2, Jake had beat George Wells. And he got the snake around his neck, and he was, like, foaming at the mouth. It was a great spot. And, again, I'm even younger than this. I'm fucking 9. And just the foaming at the mouth had me freaked out. Jake always freaked me out. He was one of those guys that just had this mystique to me. David Schultz was like that, too. Scared me shitless to even see that guy on TV. There's Martel running away. I like how he wipes the snake. Oh my gosh, the reptile. Now that is a real snake. Jesus Christ, look how it moves. Good God. How could Earthquake kill that beautiful creature? God, get it, Jake. It would suck if it ran away into the crowd. Got its hands on Macaulay Culkin. Jesus. I would not want that thing around my neck like that. Oh, my God. Marla Maples, of all people, is going to interview these two. Oh, that poor woman. Oh, God. Here comes fucking Mountie. Don't drown her. Oh, Dino was there, too? Girl, you couldn't have literally picked a worse 4 guys to celebrate around. Oh, Earthquake, yeah. Mr. Earthquake. I miss those days of like when you'd win a championship and you'd celebrate, you know, but now titles change so frequently it doesn't matter. But back in those days, it was still a big deal. Oh, Snuka, here we go. So this is going to be Taker. This is so early Taker here. We're like 4 months in to Undertaker at this point. How crazy is that? He's about to go in the Hall of Fame in a couple of days. Crazy. How long ago was this? 31 years ago? Fuck. Birth of the streak, that's right. Paul Bearer, a handsome fella. Paul Bearer was new onto the scene. I don't know exactly when Bruce or Brother Love passed things over to Paul Bearer, but it wasn't that long before this. I love they would always go to the shots of the kids just kind of sitting there like, look at that kid's haircut. Oh, he got beat up. Paul Bearer, my God. It amazes me what a legend he became. The Undertaker, managed by Paul Bearer, has got to be the fucking cheesiest shit I've ever heard. But, goddamn, it worked. Okay, so it was only a month before this. Interesting. What's up, Magic Mac Music? Thank you, man, and love back to you. Thanks for being here from the UK. I know it's, what is it, late or early there? It's probably not pretty, whatever time it is there for you, so I appreciate you hanging out with us tonight. Got a lot of listeners in the UK, and you guys are awesome. And they deserve more over there, you know? You deserve a big pay-per-view, like a Big 4 pay-per-view. Give them a SummerSlam or something, man, for sure. I think the crowd would be hot, jacked. They'd be there ready to rock, and it'd probably be one of the best WrestleManias in history in terms of, like, fan involvement. You could have some WrestleMania 18 Rock and Hogan type of shit going on if you really wanted to, so make it happen. There goes Snuka. Taker on him. I don't think Taker's got any tats yet. If he does, it's just like one. He'd be winning the title by the time they got to November at the Joe. Yeah, Snuka's rocking the goatee, huh? Oh, they do have a pay-per-view coming. I think I might have saw that report somewhere about a pay-per-view going there. Which is great, but I'm talking like a major one, like a real one. Like a real one. Like a Rumble. Problem is, I don't think WWE wants to do that just for the time issues, but they could if they wanted to. They do it for Saudi Arabia, so time doesn't seem to bother them there. Yeah, sure, get up at butt crack at dawn and watch this. Was Michelle McCool during this? No, she might not have been born. Yeah, she was definitely born. But she was just a kid like me. Oh, Snuka. Out he goes. And Snuka had just come back 2 years before and just basically came back to job. Wonder what really went on there, you know, when he did what he did to his girlfriend and him coming back into the company, but never really being used again. There was a time when Snuka was like the most over guy in WWE before Hogan got there. Maybe Vince knew the truth and knew what Snuka did and just felt like I can never push him again. I can give him a job, but I can't belt him or anything. Maybe that was the thought. It's like, I'll help him out of his loyalty to me and my dad or whatever, but I can't push him too hard. He's just got to be basically an enhancement talent. Oh, God. These were the days. Nobody can do anything about it, and we're going to win whether we want to or not. It's kind of weird, too, to see Gorilla and Bobby that close to the ring. Oh, he caught him. Oh, wow. Tombstone. Oh, wow, he hit him good, too. Wow. I like that Snuka basically wore lingerie in the fucking ring. Hey, SummerSlam on a Saturday night. Looks like they're starting to do that anyway. In the UK would be fine. I used to always think it really wouldn't work out because of the time, but man, if there's enough money involved, WWE clearly does not give a shit about that. So there's no reason. They're running out of excuses at this point. 1-0. That was history we just witnessed there. Oh, and now we got the retirement match. Oh, the main event. So this would have been the third version of this. First year was Hogan and Andre. The next year was the Buster Douglas thing. And then this was the lead into WrestleMania 6. Or lead into WrestleMania 7, excuse me. Or no, this is the fourth then, excuse me. You knew something was up here. This was at the Rumble, and Warrior is out here doing his promo with Sherry before his title defense. And I was like, oh, God. I was nervous. I kind of thought that maybe we could be seeing something happen. And then there she is out there causing all kinds of problems. Like, this is one of Vince's visions that was wrong and that was out of touch. As a fan at the time that lived through this, I wanted to see what would happen if Warrior took that title into WrestleMania. Even if you did want to put it back on Hogan, then Hogan's got to beat the Warrior for it. You should run that back, man. The previous year was so successful. And to think that you can rely on patriotism to fill 100,000, oh, scepter to the head, to see Hogan beat Slaughter, I'm like, well, of course he's going to beat Slaughter. What's going to happen? Slaughter's going to go in there and beat him and then wave the Iraqi flag around? Come on. As a fan, I did not need that. And I was pissed that Warrior lost here. And at the same time, I'm like, Slaughter for real? Dude hasn't been around in 10 years. And then it led to this shit. See, now look at this. Now Bobby's going to act like from where he's sitting, he can see. And this blew my mind because at the time watching this, I didn't know what Bobby was pointing at. I'm like, what's he talking about? And I'm like, holy shit, it's Elizabeth. And immediately it was like light bulb. I didn't know what was going to happen, but I knew pretty well that she probably wasn't just going to sit there the whole time. So I was like, oh, fucking crazy. I don't know how Bobby spotted her from where he is, but... And this is the end of Savage and Sherry together. Macho King. You know, Macho King, for as short as it lasted, there are still people that, like, refer to him as Macho King sometimes. Like, maybe a casual wrestling fan. I remember Macho King. I hear it a lot. Or I've heard it a lot, I should say. It's not like I hear it every day. But... maybe 2 years he had that, maybe, and that was it. And a lot of people really remember that. Maybe even a year and a half, I'd say. Maybe not even 2 years. He was Macho King. Sitting with the humanoids, and there's Sherry. Got all their history. This is a huge deal. I mean, Savage, this is what I would expect Savage to wear if he was set to win the WWE title. Like this white, gorgeous fucking ensemble. What a star. He's 10 trillion times better than this barf burger that he's about to wrestle. Oh, I loved Sherry as a kid. Elizabeth was my number one, but Sherry was the one that showed me that I do have a side of me that likes those type of girls too. Elizabeth was always beautiful, but I'd go from like 88 to like 89 was when she was just the stunningest. But then later in her WCW years, she got her cougar on. I was liking me some Elizabeth, and like from like 96 to whenever she was there. I always loved Elizabeth. She was the best. And Warrior, check him out, not even running. Look at Patterson. Everybody's grabbing his shit. Oh, now he's all hyped up. Savage right in his face. I mean, this is a big-time matchup of the early 90s. It really is. And I was super interested in how this was going to go. But when you hear the stories about why the fuck this is even happening, imagine at this point in time thinking Savage was anywhere close to the end of his prime or the end of his run. My God, he was prime Savage if you ask me. Vince just, he tried to wrap up Hogan and Savage a bit early, but wanting Savage to like go more to commentary. I mean, he'd come back later in the year and work a little bit more, but right after this point here, Savage was not a regular in the ring. Even when he came back, it's not like he was wrestling all the time. He was wrestling while still doing the shit on the side. But a perplexing time, that's for sure. Sherry's got quite the outfit on there. Yeah, Warrior started wearing those big airbrushed jackets. This might have been actually one of the first times he wore this. I don't think he wore it at the Rumble. I don't think he was wearing this yet. This might have been the first appearance of one of these things for Warrior. Possibly. Oh, he's got the winged eagle on the back of his tights there. It says it means much more than this. Okay. You know what? Honestly, I think that might be Dave Hebner. You said, is that Earl or Dave? I was thinking Dave wasn't really reffing by this point, but that actually looks like Dave. I didn't really think he was doing it by this point, but... Elizabeth, man, that's some classic 90s hair right there. My mom had hair a lot like that. Oh, that's right. He wore the jacket thing in the promo with Sherry, but I don't think he wore that to the ring. Yeah, I think that's definitely Dave, man. Yeah, he'd wear that at SummerSlam as well, the night he left. And then he'd bring it back and rock it in 96. And he rocked it in WCW, too. Became his thing. Thing looked like it was just big and hot. Why would you wear that? Triple H wore 2 jackets at the same time, so whatevs. Oh, AWA Sherry was very wonderful. Oh, big clothesline. Big choke. Big atomic drop. He actually hit that good. A reverse. I'm going to go grab another frosty beverage. 2 seconds. Oh, man. God bless the mini fridge. Down goes Sherry. Sherry got involved there. Get her out of there. Could have just DQ'd her right there. Just for getting in there. Yeah, my teachers had hair like that too. Same shit. And then I lived in the southeast, and like way down there, it got even a little crazier. Some of the real southern girls would have the big front poofy bangs, and we called it Camaro hair or Trans Am hair, because anybody with hair like that generally would drive a Trans Am or something. And that's literally what we called it. Even at the restaurant, we'd be like, Camaro hair on table 3 or whatever. But everybody had the big styled hair. Crazy. Big clothesline. Savage with the advantage now. This match got... Oh, Warrior looks like... I've never noticed that before, but Warrior looks like he's literally peeling his paint off with his hands. Oh, and he caught him. Just put him right down. And slapped his face. No, you didn't. I really didn't like where they would go later in this match with this bullshit of him talking to the heavens and stuff. And I'm like, oh, brother. Oh, he's got chairs. Wow. See, smart. Look how smart Savage is. Suckered everybody in. Got the ref out of the way. Came in from behind, nailed Warrior. Yeah, no, I don't. My kitchen's all the way downstairs, but I've got a pretty sizable fridge up here in my office. I occupy the master bedroom in this place. So me and Elizabeth have, it's basically my office and my YouTube place, but we got a couch set up and a TV. It's like kind of our little mini apartment inside the house, and we have our own bathroom and a big walk-in closet where the boys sleep, the cats and everything, and refrigerator and snacks and everything. We got everything we need in here except the stove. But beer is always an arm reach away. Bobby Heenan. I'm probably not giving Bobby Heenan's commentary enough love tonight because we've been talking so much, but he's had a few tonight. That would be funny if they actually did oh, that was actually a pretty solid bump by Hellwig there. Not bad, sir. Never really seen him bump hard at all. Oh, wow. Hello, camera shot. I don't think I realized how glorious that was as a kid. My dad probably marked out for that. I did like girls, though, by that age. I was still a good year away from, like, my first kiss. But I definitely liked girls by the time this show came around. What a little shit I was. Oh, man, did he shove her hard. Sherry, what a stud she is, too, man. What a pro. She took that bump. I mean, he pushed her hard. Look, she's up like it's nothing. Sherry's tougher than any of us. Posting Warrior, down he goes. Fuck him. Count him out. Savage wins. Oh, Sherry kicking him. You might want to just leave your shoes off. Damn, Bubba-nator, you're starting early. 11 your first kiss. I never got any at age 11, even playing doctor or nothing. I never was able to get any in the 5th grade. Savage spitting. Wow. There's Sherry back up there. I really don't like where they start going here soon. I mean, this match gets so ridiculous. Not only does the Warrior start talking to a Sky Wizard, he survives like 10 elbow drops. I don't know what Warrior was doing there. This is when you wish Jesse Ventura was on commentary because he would have been shitting all over Warrior for being dumb. What the hell was he doing? Or Piper. Piper would have been good too. Piper was a great heel commentator at SummerSlam 90. Yeah, the ref did seem... You're right. Refs seem to be a little bit more upset about the loogie. Like, you can't just DQ him for a loogie, man. Well, David, I'm sure I'll trade my first kiss for yours because my first kiss was pretty lame. It was a game of spin the bottle. And my real first kiss would come a few months later, but like my actual like first kiss on a girl was at a party, like at a birthday party, and we played spin the bottle, and I like had to kiss a girl that I thought was cute, but I don't think she liked me very much. But she kissed me. So that's kind of lame because it's not very storybook. It's pretty lame. Oh, double clothesline. And Warrior, oh. I was about to say, I thought Warrior was going to completely no-sell that and start running. The no-selling will be coming very soon. JJ Leg, appreciate the 5. I had to leave, or you had to leave for a bit, but I'm back. Being 21, I don't know why, but do you know the reason behind the purple strap winged eagle on the Mania poster? Yeah, probably because Warrior, they were coloring the belt when he was champion. They did that when he was IC champion too. So when he beat Hogan, he had like a white version and he had the purple version. So when Slaughter beat him, he had the purple version at first, and they probably did all the photo ops with the purple version. But by the time they got to Mania 7, they had gotten the black one. I know they had multiple belts, so I don't know why they just didn't get one of those. But they did all the promos with the belt, the actual belt that he took from Warrior. So before either replacing the strap or just getting one of the spare ones they have. That's my guess without me looking it up. Ref bump, he's down. Oh, I thought Savage was going for the unprettier. The emotional flow. Oh, Sherry's got the high heel. The high heel will be a staple of early WCW Nitro. Sherry nails Savage. I mean, this is literally a handicap, intergender handicap match is basically what this entire thing has been. Yeah, Warrior was like the first guy to have different belts for himself. Well, Hogan like changed some belts, but in terms of like changing the colors on it, Warrior did it, and then Shawn would do it. Kick out. Oh. Why did Slaughter do that to Earl? Was he mad at Earl? That's rude. Bobby Heenan. I don't know what a ham and nigger or a humanoid is, but Bobby Heenan was constantly calling us that for some reason. And a beauty. I love that over-the-top clothesline. Yeah, see, David, that's how you do it, man. Your first kiss should be at a first date. Not some lame-ass, stupid teenage party where none of you know what the hell's going on. Look at Savage. Here it comes. Big elbow. I mean, watching this, I'm assuming that Savage might actually win this. Of course, Warrior is a lot like Hogan. He's going to kick out of everything. And he's going to kick out of finishers like it's nothing. Savage clearly knows that, so he's just going to nail him with 15 of these fucking things to ensure that he won't kick out. That's kind of what I thought would happen. But about halfway through, I was like, if he kicks out of this, I want to say it was my dad who was just saying the whole time, I'm like, he'll kick out or something, like he knew it. But he's going again. Man, check out that guy at the WrestleMania sign with the Hogan shirt. He's probably got one of the best seats in the house. Watch when Savage goes to the top rope. Check out the middle of that sign. Look at him, just chilling there. Imagine that shot. Man, if you had a fucking iPhone, all the pictures you could capture of that shit. Oh, my God. Boom. Look at Dave. Yeah, that's Dave, man. I thought he was 10. I'm glad it was 5. I would have sworn it was like 10 elbows. And now Warrior, like... Now he's got to, like, talk to the heavens or something, and oh my God. Like, you didn't need to do all of that. There was enough star power in this match. You could have just had the fucking match, man. Yeah, Sherry passed herself around. She found new meal tickets every now and then. That's what made Sherry great. She's a manager, so when she loses one, she gains another. Yeah, if Savage went through a good point. If Savage went through the trouble of dropping 5 elbows, he should have grabbed one of the fucking wheels and held on tight and pinned him with authority. That's what Brock Lesnar would do. Every time, pretty sure Brock hooks the leg and leans back as hard as he can every time he pins somebody. And there it is. Hits Savage with his weird finisher and an even weirder splash. Hey, at least Savage got kicked out of Warrior shit. But this is what's so ridiculous, is that, look at Warrior. What? It must be something not of this world if somebody can find the strength to kick out of being dropped from 6 feet in the air and then being splashed. Basically being given 2 routine wrestling moves that are done multiple times in every match. And the fact that Savage kicked out of that, it's made Warrior skeptical that the universe even exists. Because it's that crazy. Like, you're in the middle of a career match. Like, I could see at this time why fans would start not liking this babyface character, because he's fucking idiotic. And he's leaving. Could have just picked Savage up and done it to him again and pinned him. I'm questioning my own strength. A press slam? Like, your finish sucks, Warrior. Anybody, I could kick out. My grandma could kick out of your fucking shit. It's horrible. You get Savage crawling up. There, take him out. Yeah, finally. And what I also love is how Gorilla is clearly being instructed exactly how to tell this story. He's getting a message of a different kind. All this shit that he says. So ridiculous. He got some kind of... Wow, look at that dude in front of Savage. That is an awesome looking guy. Oh, he's gonna drop the elbow on the barricade. Warrior, what the hell is he doing? He's talking to the heavens, Raymond. You know how it goes. Oh, Savage, look out. Ooh, that was a good bump. The Warrior's getting a message of a different kind. Give me a break. How does Gorilla know that Warrior got a message of a different kind? You go over there and tell him? Even at my age, I thought this was dumb. Oh, yeah, now he just tackles the shit out of him a few times, I think, right? The only thing I think they did pull off in this match, even though I hated the fact that Savage got beat with a boot, is just kind of like just the timing and the setup of the boot on the chest and just how it kind of came out of nowhere. 1, 2, 3, the way Gorilla and Bobby react. I actually thought it was kind of a fun finish and one that I remember well. Even though everything leading up to it was dumb. And Savage should never be being pinned with a boot on his chest, but this is the way I would have beat Savage if he like was leaving for WCW or something like that. I'd have I'd beat him right in the middle with my top baby face with a boot on his chest, but not if he's just like staying in the company and you already are having trouble and issues with the Ultimate Warrior. You know his future might not be long in the company based on the fact that he probably already has an attitude by this point. So why would you do this? Oh, yeah, we saw the J.J. Dillon and Sullivan stuff a few days back when that was shown. That blew my mind. And right there it is right there. See? Almost caught me off guard. I thought there was one more tackle left. And it was just kind of like, I wouldn't put it in the same category as the streak ending, but it was really like, oh, type of thing. Like, shit, it kind of made your heart stop for a second. Even Sherry, the way Sherry sold it. I was thinking there was a few more tackles, and now Warrior is done. Or Savage is done, and Warrior's, I guess, chasing after Sherry. God, Warrior put that thing back on. Fucking Savage, man. Warrior's career continues, but not for very long. Savage's career would end, but not for very long. And they really did weird shit after this, too. Savage would actually work a match. There's a Coliseum video match of him against, I want to say, Rick Martel. I have it back here somewhere. And it's after this. And Elizabeth comes to the ring with him. And it's before he returns and gets reinstated. And they explain it as he had contractual agreements already in place before the retirement match, so he had to still fulfill those even though his career was done, which was bullshit. But there's Sherry's got her shit off now, and now she's gonna start. So you knew right here, this was the best part. The minute you started seeing her giving shit to Savage, you're like, okay, come on, let's go, Elizabeth, get your ass out here. It became obvious right away. And then she starts laying into him, kicking him. And see, what's cool about this is I don't think the fans in the audience knew Elizabeth was here. It's not like they had a big Titantron back then. So unless they announced it earlier in the show, which they might have, I think if the audience doesn't know she's there, this would be a pretty big surprise for them. But everybody watching at home knew. Oh, there she goes. There she goes. She got the cue. The fans start losing it. That's 2 years in a row that Sherry, or Elizabeth, had a handful of hair on Sherry and tossed her. Well, Bobby, that's not true. They're trying to act like Savage could possibly think that Elizabeth was the one whipping his ass. No. As a matter of fact, I think he looked right at Sherry before she started kicking him. Now, he's probably surprised to see her here. He's like, damn, how many of them shoulder tackles did I take? This was kind of reminiscent in a lot of ways of Andre's sort of send-off the year before. How he came in a heel, left as a babyface, and, even though Savage's career was ending, which I thought was horseshit, this was a nice way to tie it up. Fans love to see this. Instantly, all of Savage's heel stuff completely evaporated, the minute he was in there with Elizabeth again. Now all of a sudden she loves him. He was quite an asshole to her, though, like during the Mega Powers stuff. So, Savage, you better go hug her, man. She's willing to take you back after all the asshole shit you did. Where's the girl? We got to see the girl in the front row. My mom loved this. I think the girl has been on a couple of shows, but she was like famous for a while after this because she's just like bawling in the front row. That's what I remember about that is that it softened the blow. Because even at this time, I did not want to see Savage's career end. I'm like, well, this sucks, you know? That kid. And so then we would go right into SummerSlam for the wedding, and then they'd get divorced like the following year, which sucks. But that was awesome. Like for me, like there she is, that girl. Ha, that was my mom right there. That woman. Just like just tears in her eyes and like one tear. Like not bawling like that girl, but oh, Bobby, you love it. Yeah, another one of my favorite memories is going to be right there. You can barely see it, but that's Randy Savage holding up Elizabeth after winning the title at WrestleMania 4. And so for me as a fan, like to see him come back like this was like a dream come true. I'm like, I didn't know what it meant. Savage was out of the ring, so it's not like we were going to see him back with Elizabeth like back we used to, but and the crowd, look at them. They all deep down knew how good Savage was. You know, Savage, honestly, at this time was my number one, you know. He got bumped once I became a huge Brett mark, but Brett wasn't on the map yet, you know. Macho was my absolute favorite during this time, especially before this. She was good in balancing up there. I don't know how she did that. Glad he didn't do that to her at the wedding at SummerSlam. Oh, look at these matches. Boss Man Perfect, Virgil and Dibiase, and Hogan and Slaughter, and a couple of other ones in between, I think, too. Now we're getting a whole new intro on WrestleMania. Back in these days, on pay-per-view, they would do intermission. So you would get like this countdown. It was usually, I don't remember if it was 15 or 5. I want to say it was 15 minutes, 15-minute intermission. I remember it on all of the early WrestleManias that I ordered on pay-per-view. So that's probably what that was right there. It was intermission. Fans need to cool down after that shit.
And don't forget, Randy Macho King Savage is history. He's gone. And Slaughter, he's playing with an all-new set of rules. And Hogan, you
Such a weird setup down at the ring. They started doing that in 91. Commentary team was usually away from the ring most of the time on pay-per-view. And then in 91, they started doing this.
out of the squared circle, knowing that you got the woman you love and the woman who loves you. I'd rather have some money than a skirt. What a heartless individual you are. A long way from being over. Plenty more action still to come. Right now, let's take you to Regis.
Regis. Fuck yeah.
Superstars and stripes forever.
He always had the wrestlers on his show. And Vince would make him go in full gear. It was so stupid. They looked ridiculous.
Hey, what do you say, guys? How about this celebration we're having?
Look at this post-match interview. God, look at
Be alive, wouldn't you say?
Paul.
This guy must be tall. I'm 6'3". I can't get over it. Now, what are you doing with that, man?
Regis, you are not 6'3".
Oh, come on now. Look, you don't have to take any measurements.
Maybe he is 6'3".
You know, these guys are serious. Aren't you? I think he's serious.
Yeah, in the intermission back in the day, you would get a countdown screen. It'd be like the WrestleMania logo and then like a countdown for 15 minutes. And you knew exactly when they were coming back.
Who's in it and what's going on? I played some
That's how I was able to get, actually, we were talking about the old WrestleMania theme song from these days. That's how I was able to get the song from that. Because back in those days, you didn't have albums coming out. Well, you did, but that wouldn't have been on there. Oh, Alex Trebek with Demolition, yes. But during that intermission, I then took that song during intermission from the VHS tape, recorded it onto a cassette tape, and used that to listen to, because that's an awesome theme, man. Crush and Smash. Axe is out of the picture now. Fuji's not even bothering putting the paint on anymore. Master Fuji. It was crazy to see Fuji back with Demolition.
I have all of the answers, and our contestants have to come up with the right questions. Now, to do that, they've got to draw upon their great knowledge that they've acquired over the years. They've got to be cool under pressure, and they have to have good reflexes.
Barry Darsow is the only one still living in this picture here.
Now, it occurs to me that maybe those same qualities would really work for you guys here in the World Wrestling Federation. What do you think?
So you think you got all answers, huh? Well, you always think you got all answers. There's only one.
God, Demolition was just so past everything.
And that's Master Fuji. Yeah. Master Fuji knows all about pain, torture,
They were my third favorite team in WWE history, like the Axe and Smash version. I loved Demolition. Oh, good, Ric Flair. What's his problem today?
Into an area that I had not anticipated, so
What are we trying to make about ourselves today, Rick?
let's go back to Regis. Oh, yeah, I love it. I just love it. It looks like Trebek is approaching Final Jeopardy a little sooner than
I like that Philbin's fucking with him.
from Japan. Connie Chung, eat your heart out. Our wrestlers
Connie Chung.
and Kitao. Gentlemen, welcome to America and welcome to WrestleMania. And how do you feel about
So fucking Kitao here,
the plan that you can tell us?
he had some problem in Japan, some shoot he had with Earthquake, or he just like stopped cooperating in the match. I think he was kind of blackballed after that.
Again, oh, I don't believe this.
This match made no damn sense to me
Anything. Nothing at all.
at my age. I didn't understand why we were seeing it, what the point was, what the fuck was going on. Fans didn't know anything.
This I'm on a roll now. Isuzu!
Jesus Christ, Regis.
We had that breakthrough to these guys. Columbia Pictures. Big conference going on. What are they?
Tenryu, knock out Philbin.
No. Regis. Kathy Lee at home.
Oh, him and Mark Madden. Ew, he does a podcast with Mark Madden. I didn't even really know they did that. I guess I did. I knew Flair had a podcast. I didn't know Madden was a part of it. Ew. It's got to be annoying to listen to.
I'm here now in the dressing room with Jake Roberts and
Oh, Jake with a
David. Thank you.
promo too. Or interview, I should say.
Snakes do make me nervous. As a matter of fact,
Yeah, back in these days, too, they would do this at a lot of the pay-per-views, the big ones. They'd always do a series of interviews in between, you know, the intermission stuff, start running through a bunch of these, which was nice and allowed fans to get out and take a piss and do all that stuff. No, Skull Vikings, I didn't see that. That sounds incredibly stupid, but whatever.
You probably set that whole thing up. Yeah, every celebrities. How did I do? They show what kind of celebrities they are. They're sick. I could have interviewed them. Let's go to our ring announcer, Howard Baker.
Bobby's cracking up. Oh my God, this match. This is probably the most underwhelming match on the entire card, I think. Demolition had even changed their theme song because Axe was gone and he was a part of the song. Here comes the crush and here comes the smasher. It doesn't have the same ring to it, you know? I mean, at least they were back to this look. For a while, they were wearing the masks, which was really bad. So they dropped those. But interesting theme. Not my favorite. Like, I just don't know why they didn't capitalize more on Demolition and Road Warriors when they had the chance. Road Warriors came in when, like, Demolition was arguably at their hottest. They just three-peated as tag champs at WrestleMania. Would have been perfect. I know Bill Eadie's health played a role, but I still think they missed the boat somewhere. Fans don't know these guys. Tenryu made a few appearances in WWE. I'd say at least 3 or 4. He'd come back around the Luger stuff at the Rumble in '94, I guess. Oh, now Rick is apparently looking to do a podcast with Conrad. Great. I'm sure that's going to be great. Because if there's one thing Conrad needs, it's more podcasts. Some guys have 1 podcast. Some guys have 36. It's whatever you want. Look, there's a lot of empty seats there. Everybody's still out doing intermission stuff. So I guess the right match is in the ring. What a fall from grace for Demolition, man. 1 year earlier, winning the titles at Skydome, beating Andre the Giant. Crowd going nuts. Oh, wow. Well, I'll read all those wonderful tweets here. Well, actually, fuck this match. I'll just look at it right now. Does Flair have stuff to say? Oh, here. Trending, Ric Flair. Mark Madden fired from Ric Flair's podcast. Okay. Well, it looks like most people are on Ric Flair's side on this one. We'll have to look into this deeper. That's so great. Oh, here we go. 2 hours ago from Ric Flair. I can't tell who's tweeting first here. Oh, Lord, here we go. Mark says, I'm leaving the Flair podcast effective immediately. It's not a good fit for me, especially scheduling the prep and taping during my jam-packed work week. Thanks, Ric Flair, for the opportunity and understanding. And then Flair replies, love and appreciate it, but actually I relieved you of your duties. Best of luck. Why does Flair tweet with capital letters? Such an idiot. Best of luck with your work. I'll be back better than ever and going home to my son-in-law. Oh, and he tags Conrad. Okay. Oh, and then Madden replies, and by the way, you didn't have the balls to tell me you were firing me. You said the podcast was canceled, period. Your son-in-law had to tell me the truth. Why couldn't you just let it go? Why couldn't you just be a friend after 35 years? Flair says, Mark, it's so sad. You've been telling everyone. I can't get over how he tweets. You've been telling everyone for 30 years that I'm the greatest wrestler ever. Quit trying to get the rub that made you who you are. Look forward to hearing you on the Pat McAfee show. Oh, wait, sorry, he canceled you too. Just be happy and enjoy life. Oh, my God. Okay. Fun. I don't know why Ric Flair, at his age, insists on finding drama, or it finds him. He's just going to be this way until he dies. He's never going to calm down and just chill the fuck out. Yeah, Smash would be Repo Man pretty soon. This team would go away. Crush would come back a little while later as a babyface. Smash would be repackaged as Repo, and then he'd go to WCW to do about 6 more gimmicks. He was a golfer and a blacktop bully and a couple other things. But there's so many podcasts out there. That's a podcast I would never even consider listening to, you know? Like Flair, just the way he talks and everything. I've heard everything he's ever said. You know, I know exactly what he's probably going to say and shit. I don't even like Mark Madden at all. Never liked him. So it's 2 people I don't care to hear speak. So that was never going to be a problem for me, even listening to the stupid shit. They were both drunk every podcast. Yeah, I could probably see that too. Big power bomb. You weren't seeing many power bombs yet in WWE. Sid Justice was on his way in. Demolition should definitely be in the Hall of Fame. I think one or both of them did partake in that concussion lawsuit thing. So I think some of those guys are kind of on the blackball list. That could be part of it. But they're both still with us, and they're both still alive. And I would really like to see them go in. Hey, you got to shout out to, look at how good Ray Traylor looks. You remember when he came in? And if you don't know anything about Boss Man or Big Bubba, look up right now on Google, Big Boss Man WWE 1988, and look up Big Bubba Rogers in the NWA. And look at those pictures and look at how he looks here. He got himself in such good shape. Inserts hurt my mama's feelings. Oh, my God. He's a great talker. Mm-hmm.
In WrestleMania 7, a perfect example. The crab does not pay.
What was the point of that last match? I think the point was to have guys wrestle in it and see who would win, but I'm not really sure. Other than that, there wasn't a point at all. Oh, look at that beautiful belt. Oh. Note the strap. If you want to know what the right color is on an Intercontinental title, that is it. And there is no other answer except for that. Yeah, Heenan's still with Perfect here, but this is about the end of it.
And you've all seen what transpired out here about how some little hammer-egger was hiding in the bushes with his little home video camera, and he happened upon this incident and took the pictures of it. Well, I've got a treat for you, because you see, I am going to give it to you for zip. All you got to do is get off that rented sofa with the spring sticking up, go over and push your VCR.
Rented sofa? I'd rather just have one. Perfect looks good with that championship. He wore it great. I really think I have him and Brett as the 2 best to wear that. Perfect. Yeah, look how skinny he is. Crazy. What about Rodney King? Is he here? This is before that or right after it. What the hell? When were the Rodney King riots? Law and Order debuted in 1991. I never watched Law and Order. I always see them around on TV, but never watched them. I know there's like different ones and shit, but or maybe this is a CSI. There's different ones in their Law and Order. I don't watch either, so I don't know. I don't know the characters. Know nothing. That kid's booing hard. I really thought they were going to put the Intercontinental title on Boss Man here. I did. He'd go on to hold this title all the way until SummerSlam. I bet it is. I would never even listen to that mess. See, I never watched Quantum Leap either, but my best buddy, who was my next door neighbor, and we went to school together, he loved it. He would always talk about it, and he would want me to watch it, and I never did. Scott Bakula. The only thing I ever saw him in was the movie Necessary Roughness, which is hilarious, with Sinbad. It's good stuff. It's the only thing I really know of him. Oh, spitting on him. Perfect the way he would sell like that. Oh. Nice. I loved how Boss Man would do that. I like how quick he is. Jesus. The way he would do-si-do with that ring post. He started doing that spot a lot. He was so... I mean, even when he was bigger, he was super agile and could bump and shit. But with all the weight he lost here, he was super fast. He's keeping up with Hennig. I don't know if Perfect and Boss Man had a hand in training Brock or not. I just know of Brock's OVW stuff. So if they worked with him a bit, it's possible. They were both around at that time. And Perfect's from Minnesota. Oh, they got Alfred. Is Alfred on commentary for this? That's right, he is, because Bobby Heenan is at ringside. Gorilla Monsoon's son is the referee, Joey Morella. Perfect with the sell on the turnbuckle bump. The movie where Sinbad plays a genie, yeah. Kazam. That is one Mandela effect thing. They don't all, I don't get them all, but that is one that I definitely remember. I know that movie. I've seen the box in the video store. Back in those days, I swear it. But some of the other ones I don't get, like the Berenstein Bears ones and stuff. But that's one that does creep me out a little bit because I do have memories of that. But apparently it never happened. But Necessary Roughness is funny, and Sinbad's funny in that. I always liked Sinbad. I don't know whatever happened to him, but he was like all over TV when I was like this age. I don't understand. It seems like the fans would not enjoy WWE. I don't know why. See that big, there's a big right in the middle of the screen there in the front row. There's this big giant garbage can and it's filled with like cow shit. Wouldn't you think that would smell to all the people around in that area? I don't know why WWE would want to put that there right in the dead center of the hard cam view, but whatever. WWE's going to WWE, you know what I mean? So if you were at that show, let me know how bad that smelled. Good thing about trash cans of cow shit, all they do is smell bad. It's not like, you know, they can ever, you know, become president or anything. So at least we don't have to worry about that. Morella, come on, you're smarter. He's got the hair twice here. Two count only. I never liked Lord Alfred on commentary. Such a weirdo. What? I don't have time for weird headlines. For real? Will Smith for real punched Chris Rock on stage at the Oscars? The Oscars is tonight? I don't even pay attention to the Oscars. This can't be real. It was fake, right? Oh, okay. What just happened is trending. Okay, we got to get some videos. Here we go. Sorry, Perfect and Boss Man. I'm trying to see. I don't see anything yet. None of these videos are loading. Videos. Okay, what just happened? Okay, here it is. What the hell? He slapped him. What the fuck happened? That's weird. Oh, here we go. Now it's with sound. Oh, and Chris Rock even said Will Smith just punched the shit out of me, and then it went silent. Are they shooting an angle? Oh, my God. And then Will Smith just staring at him like that? Oh, my God. That is nuts. I think they're shooting an angle. That's nuts. It's got to be. It didn't look. It kind of did not look like a work, although these people are actors and they know how to act. But
that was the greatest night in the history of television.
I don't know what the hell that is about, but who knows? Who knows what the story will say? Holy shit. Well, damn. Interesting things happen when you're live streaming. You never know. I'd book that match for WrestleMania. Here comes Andre. Andre doesn't quite yet have the crutches. Look at Heenan. To me, watching this, I thought this was going to solidify a boss man victory, especially with Andre showing back up. And he had been around after WrestleMania 6. They brought him onto Primetime Wrestling, and he made Bobby Heenan get in like a pool of grapes or some shit or whatever and messed with him there. He was still walking around okay. Yeah, Perfect's got the turnbuckle pad off. Maybe WWE's gotten involved here and had Rock and Smith shoot something at the Oscars. It looked more like a slap. Andre's got the Intercontinental Championship. I've never really seen him physically hold that belt before. Or actually, yes, I have. He did when he faced Warrior and stuff, but it would have been weird to see Andre as Intercontinental Champion. He did get some title shots against Warrior. Warrior was squashing him all over the towns. Boom. Nailed. Perfect with the belt. Well, I don't know why this is not the end of this match. And why Boss Man didn't win. Everybody's probably, what the fuck? We have to, I think wrestling fans need to explain to the rest of the world what a work is. Look at Boss Man's shit is all torn apart. It's got to be very uncomfortable to wrestle in that seat belt that he's wearing. There it is. One. Perfect kicked out of that. My God. That should have been it. Oh, and here comes the Faces of Fear. Haku is in here. Thank you, Alfred. Damn, perfect selling for Andre. So great. Pretty sure Perfect and Andre were Survivor Series 88 teammates. Andre, look at Andre and Haku back together again. Everybody was saying the punch was so fake. I saw a slowed down version of that. It didn't look like a punch. It looked like a slap, but he made contact with the face for sure. It's right there. But yeah, I don't know. Shooting an angle. Celebrity boxing match. You Boss Man and Andre. I'm very proud of you. You're very good at wrestling. Come to my hotel. You like wine? How many cases you drink tonight? I'm oddly out of peanuts. Yeah, did not like a DQ finish here. Lame. Weak. Shit's weak. It was very sports entertaining. What a slap. That's great. Here comes Earthquake. All right, your lordship, get up out of here. Let Bobby Heenan back. Alfred goes, bye. See you later, Alfred. Earthquake. Oh, God. Can I mute this, please? Suddenly, I'm nauseous. Let's read Twitter while this bag of wind is talking. Find out more about this Chris Rock, Will Smith stuff. I'm fascinated by this. I really hope it was real. I mean, Will Smith was kind of smirking as he walked away, but do they have heat? Like, has there been an issue or any history between these two guys at all? So weird. Oh, Chuck Norris is here. I don't like him either. Who else we got? Chuck Norris. Oh, Henry Winkler. I grew up to Happy Days, man. Who else we got? Oh, Lou Ferrigno. I grew up with Incredible Hulk, too. I used to have to always go hide behind the couch whenever he would turn into the Hulk because I was scared. And my mom would tell me when it was okay to come out. Chuck Norris. He was a legend, man, in the 80s, man. You always heard about Chuck Norris. Karate was very in the 80s. And everything was about Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee and all that shit. Every time I see Walker, Texas Ranger, I just think of Ricky Bobby's kids. But I also think it also came before Monday Night Raw for years during the Attitude Era. I taped every episode on like VHS tape, so before every episode, I've got the ending of Walker, Texas Ranger on just about every fucking tape I have. Greg Valentine and Earthquake. Oh, good. I got another slow-mo. Well, I saw one slow-mo already, but I didn't like it or save it, so let me look at it. Yeah, Valentine wouldn't be in much. I think he worked a Rumble, and he'd probably work the next Rumble too. Maybe even the Rumble after that, but he wasn't in much. But Valentine at this point, this was 91. I mean, he'd been there now for over a decade. At least in and out since that time. And I know he worked some matches in the 70s, and he was IC champ around 82, 83-ish or something. Or no, 85, excuse me. And he did a lot. Vince, I think, always liked the Valentine family. I mean, he was a tag team champion as well, so back in these days, it felt like Vince had loyalty to certain guys. You know, Valentine was one of them. Snuka was one. They were always kind of around because they were good workers, especially Valentine. Jose, yes, you are late for the stream, but we will allow you to join us because you're awesome. Yeah, he worked 93 as a knight. He did. He did. Yeah, he was always a guy that I think could be called upon for a Rumble here or there, or any sort of other extra work that they would need, but he didn't really have a place on the full-time roster anymore, I don't think, around this time. And so Vince would give him work whenever he could. He was another guy that had just great robes. Him and Flair. I always liked Valentine's robes. Oh, whoops. Yeah, I've seen the clips that I still haven't seen a super slow-mo one of it, but I did see one earlier. He's going to make quick work of Valentine here. And it was weird seeing Valentine, too, as a babyface, because he really hasn't ever been one in the company. But it was a last-ditch effort, I think, to get him something to do, turn him from Jimmy Hart and have them break up. They'd done everything else they could with him. Then they did the rhythm and blues shit, and then by then there was really nothing to do, so they turned him face and pretty much jobbed him out. Been a good night for Jimmy Hart. For the most part, his boys won the tag team titles. Now a match victory for his man here, Earthquake. What else has Jimmy done? Look at there. Good on Valentine for getting out of there. Earthquake, help me out. Earthquake, undefeated at WrestleMania? 1-0? Or no, he worked last year. He worked Hercules, so he's 2-0. Unless Golga worked one, or well, I guess the Battle Royal in 17 might count. And in WrestleMania 10, he beat Adam Bomb. So I think Earthquake's undefeated. Anything that's funny on Twitter, you guys are just going to have to send it to me because I don't want to have to go searching this shit out. Power and glory. Such a weird match decision here to do. I would have rather seen Legion of Doom beat Heart Foundation for the titles. But I don't know. Maybe the WWE audience would have booed him. WWE didn't want that, so I could understand that too. 4-0 all time for Earthquake. 4-0, huh? I can only think of the 3 matches. 6, 7, and 10. What am I missing? You talking to me? Oh, WrestleMania 8, I bet. The natural disasters. I forgot about WrestleMania 8. Yeah. Totally. Yeah, future Horseman Paul Roma. I didn't really hate the idea of the Power and Glory team because Roma had never really gotten a true push, and Hercules was kind of winding down as a veteran. So you put them together, make them a tag team, get some use out of them. They put them over strong at first, but there's too many good teams for them to really be considered a real threat. But I just don't know why they would have at least tried to build Demolition and Road Warriors to this, although I think they could have done it way back in 1990 at like SummerSlam, or put Road Warriors against the Hearts and just have them beat them for the titles. This is just so weird to me, but whatever. Roma was super athletic. There's Vlad in the front row. Oh, yeah, Roma's hurt, isn't he? And he took the finish. He's got a hurt arm, and he's still taking the Doomsday. Even with a hurt arm, he was probably the better guy to take that than Herc. That's interesting. I wonder who would win in a real fight between Hawk and Hercules. Never thought about that before. That'd be a good one. That would be a good one. That would be a real good one. Be a good question for Tennis Racket Man. He'd probably answer that. If I was Virgil, I would not want to massage the $1 Million Man. And if I was the $1 Million Man, I wouldn't want Virgil to massage me. So, the toes. The toe cheese. You can see Virgil was finally starting to get sick of this shit. But he was a scary... I remember in like 88 when he came in, I remember thinking, I hope this guy doesn't start wrestling because he looks like he could kill people. But then when he got in there, they booked him like in his first match kind of strong against Randy Savage. And then after that, he was kind of like the underdog deal. He's a big, strong dude. Hung like a fucking horse, apparently. Boom, and there it is. Hit him with the title. Listen to Piper going nuts on commentary. Oh, I like that arena. I don't know what city that's in right there, but WWE ran a lot of shows there. I recognize the ceiling. WCW did too. God, this is how crazy I know wrestling. That building right there where you saw Haku and Virgil wrestling, I'm pretty sure that's the same building where Shawn Michaels introduced Sid as his bodyguard in 95. Just because I remember that Raw and I remember the camera angle and seeing the ceiling. It's amazing what weird-ass memories stick with you when you're young. Oh, Scott Casey. Look at that. Oh, no, that's not Scott Casey. I don't know who that is. Look like Scott Casey. Just some jobber. You could see Virgil's abs through that shirt. Did you see that? Jesus. Wherever that arena was, I don't think it was a big basketball arena. It might have been in Orlando, I don't know, but it wasn't your standard 20,000 seat NBA arena. It was some other arena. There was probably a smaller capacity, but I have no idea even what city it was in. Making his spring. I loved how he had a seasonal residence everywhere he went. As a kid, I remember not knowing what that meant. Like, I didn't understand, I guess, the concept of being rich and you'd have multiple residents. Macon Coliseum, Macon, Georgia. Thank you, Nate Dogg. That's cool. No, I had no idea it was down there. Another reason why I know that is because around the time of like 94, 95, when business started getting real bad in WWE and you saw a noticeable drop in the attendance, I remember being concerned as a fan. Like this is really bad. You know, like I grew up just watching the Saturday morning show with 20,000 people. And now it's like in these real small buildings, and sometimes Monday Night Raw would be in an arena that was so small that the ceiling was low. Like you could see the ceiling on the hard camera, you know, and I'm like, this is like really crazy. So I started around that time paying real close attention to the arenas and noticing the size of the crowd. And if WWE ever had a taping at a bigger arena, I was always like happier to see like a little bit larger of a crowd than the small ass places they would go to. So that arena in Georgia is not super tiny. So when they ran that show there in 95, I remember thinking, I'm like, oh, okay, at least that's a decent crowd. Piper on the crutches here. This is also my favorite Piper WWE theme. Piper, I think, might have been in like a legit motorcycle accident here or something. Or at least that's what they said on TV. I just don't remember. Oh, yeah, I don't think Virgil's got theme music yet. So Piper introduces him. Here he comes. The price is wrong. And this match, this was not for the $1 million title. That would come later. I think Virgil would beat $1 Million Man again. Dibiase and Virgil. DB had some interesting manias. Previous year, he was working with Jake in that great match. That was a good match at WrestleMania 6. Kind of a forgettable match against Beefcake the previous year, and then he was in the finals of that tournament in WrestleMania 4. Look at Virgil go. Oh. So that's why he punched Chris Rock, is because Chris Rock made a G.I. Jane joke about Smith's wife, and Jada suffers from a condition that causes hair loss. Maybe Chris Rock didn't know that, and Will Smith literally went up and do these fucking rich celebrities think that's okay just to go up and slap somebody? I think like Will Smith should be arrested. Unless they're shooting an angle. That's crazy. And awesome. I like stories like this. Okay, yeah, so I'm seeing some of that G.I. Jane shit. Wow, so that looks like it was legit. Unless the whole thing was planned, the joke and the reaction was all planned. But if it was, why? It's not like it's wrestling. What are you trying to do? Build a SummerSlam cage match? Like, what the fuck? But either way, that's awesome. I like just random bizarre stories you would never even think about. Did Chris Rock and Will Smith have an entanglement at the Oscars? Yep, they did. Yeah, even Sean Waltman's with me. He sees it's an open hand. It looked like more like a slap. Didn't even look like a punch at all. Yeah, I saw one slow-mo 2 seconds after somebody said something, and it was super slowed down, and his hand was wide open as it crossed, and it definitely made contact with Chris Rock's face. So at least he didn't full-on try to break his jaw or nothing. Like, who does that? That's some Vince McMahon shit right there. It's just the entitlement, you know? I've never disliked Will Smith. I've always thought he was cool and stuff, but my God, like that is just an unbelievable amount of entitlement. It's one thing to stick up for your wife. The joke was probably in poor taste, but now you've made yourself look even worse than maybe saying something about it next time you got up there if you wanted to, or tweeting about it, or not cool, or whatever. People probably would have had your back and probably would have came after Chris Rock hard, because it ain't easy to get canceled these days, as we all know. But instead you go up in there and bitch slap the guy. I hate that. I never watch the Oscars or the Grammys. I don't give a shit about any of that stuff. Oscar parties and stuff. I'm like, I could give two fucks less who wins best actor, best anything. Don't care. Plus, I never see any of the movies that are nominated for anything, so I don't care literally at all. Virgil getting worked over here. Yeah, Andy Kaufman. Oh, Kaufman sold it real well. Chris Rock just looked more shocked. So Will Smith cut a promo too? I hope so. Yeah, don't worry, John. You're not missing much, but it's an interesting story. Oh, Virgil not in good position to kick out of this pile driver here in the position of his arms, but he did. Go, Virgil. Virgil wasn't that much of a jobber. Maybe at the end he was used more as in an enhancement role, but when they first started putting him over and stuff, he beat Dibiase. He'd win the $1 million title, had a little bit of a run. But Virgil was a part of a lot, you know. He was a big part of that Dibiase entry into the WWE, that whole storyline with Andre. You know, he was in the middle of the Andre and Hogan stuff there, you know, after WrestleMania 3. So Virgil was a part of a lot, and then he was able to have a little bit of a career run, or an in-ring run, 2 or 3 years in the company during a real hot time. So Virgil's funny. He says funny things. He's a wrestling superstar, don't forget. Wow, push down Piper. Pushed him hard, too. Yeah, Virgil never really had a great finisher. Virgil wasn't great in the ring, you know, but he was okay. He had a great look. I was scared shitless of him when he was DiBiase's bodyguard, just because of how menacing he looked. I was legit scared of him, and I'm like, man, if he ever gets in the ring, everybody's screwed. Punches him. Damn. Oh, and then that's it. They ring the bell already. And Virgil wins. Dude, I think Virgil might be undefeated at WrestleMania. Although he might have worked a dark match one year, but I think at WrestleMania 8, he was a part of that babyface team that would win. He wins here. So Virgil and Earthquake. A couple of guys that have done well. Oh, yeah, Virgil loves that meat sauce and breadsticks for some reason from Olive Garden. That's hilarious. He's all about it. You know, to count out here, and then the DQ in the IC match, I believe. Oh, I mean, he legit cracked Dibiase with that crutch. I would not want to take a crutch shot, man. Ouch. And look at this. Cherry wastes no time. I kind of forgot that Cherry appears here. Completely forgot. She already had a backup plan. This is a smart move. Because Virgil wasn't with him anymore, so now he's got Sherry. It was a good transition. Look at Dibiase protecting the hell out of Piper's leg there. He's got to smash it with a crush, but he's got to be careful at the same time. Well, I'm glad that Piper is not painted half black this year, which is kind of nice. Oh, my. Wearing out Piper's knee with a crutch. Poor Piper. Really glad he's wearing something under that kilt. And Sherry has got a new guy already. She doesn't have to wear the crazy makeup anymore. Or she could still, if she wants. I think she does. Oh, Piper taking out Danny Davis in the balls with the crutch. Has been a great addition to the show. Oh, Virgil's got the mic. The mic with the cord attached to it. Get up, Piper. Piper. Everybody draws their energy from very strange places. Undertaker from the urn, Ultimate Warrior from the heavens above, and now Piper apparently from Virgil. Because if you need inspiration, first place I'm going to look is Virgil. And he's up. True friendship. Friendship prevails. Virgil's helping him. You could get a crutch or some help from the back.
Thank you, gentlemen. Joining me in just a moment, Sergeant Slaughter and his commanding officer, General Adnan. But before the
General Adnan.
arrives, let's take a look at some of the action that has taken place leading up to this historic match for the World Wrestling Federation Championship here at WrestleMania 7.
Weren't they going to burn the flag or something first? And then they were like, no, we better not do that. So they burned the Hulk Rules shirt. Can't believe that belt fits Slaughter. Jeez, that thing is doused in gasoline or something.
Wrestling Federation champion Sergeant Slaughter and his commanding officer, General Adnan.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أيها الأخوان العرب هالك هوجن النار والجحيم ثم الحريق إن البطل العالمي تاج القتل سوف يحطمك داخل الحلبة وخارج الحلبة وهذا رفعة راس إلى جميع العرب والسلام.
Oh, Slaughter refused to burn the flag. Yeah, probably wasn't a good idea.
Stand at attention, you piece of human waste, and listen up. And all you
Pukamaniacs, the ultimate slime and the ultimate slime and the immortal puke, or the immortal slime and the ultimate puke. Maybe that's what it was. Sheik hadn't appeared yet. This was still Slaughter. Yeah, Chris Rock kind of no-sold it, which I thought it was funny. He even said, he goes, I just got punched by Will Smith at the Oscars.
Certainly are like no other champion here in the
Like, can the show really go on? Like, what's going on right now in the Oscars? Is anybody watching? Are things happening? Is Chris Rock the host of this? Is Will Smith still allowed just to sit there? Like, yeah, there's that build. There's that same TV taping again with that building. Same building I was just talking about. The immortal slime. Will Smith is talking on Twitter too. Jesus. So weird. Slaughter talking about all the different ways he can keep the title here. Oh, that's the wrong Will Smith. Phew. You got to remember, too, Rock had his hands behind his back. It's a douche move by Will Smith. Like, I think something might be wrong with him. Tito, Santana. So this must be the final semi-main here before we get into Hogan and Slaughter. Tito and Jacques. Trying to think how many times the Can-Ams faced the Rougeaus. I have no idea. The Mountie must have just come in. Such a weird gimmick. Oh! Was that his finish? Was that Tito's flying forearm finisher that he just hit Jacques with? I always liked how Tito had the little sombrero on the corner of his tights. Just like that. Tased just like that with the cattle prod. I believe it was something he ate. Poor Santana, man. I mean, he won, if I'm not mistaken, the opening match of WrestleMania 1. Never won again. He lost at WrestleMania 3. I don't know what. He lost at WrestleMania 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 here. He would lose at 8 the next year. Lose. Oh, yeah. Bobby Heenan would call his finish the flying jalapeno or the flying burrito. Jesse Ventura said that Santana learned that move in the Mexican Football League, the MFL. He always had stupid shit to say about Tito. I loved Santana. When you torched the Hulk Hogan banner, brother. I agree that it would have been a really stupid idea to burn the flag. But I've always wondered why it's such a crazy thing. Why it's so unbelievably jaw-dropping, head-exploding offensive. Just to burn a piece of fabric made in China with our colors on it. Like, I don't get hung up on symbolism and shit like that. I don't care. Or pride most of the time. Look at that belt slaps there. Ouch. This was primetime wrestling. I was thinking it was the main event. It was primetime. But people would have gotten pissed if they would have done that. I think they might have really had to worry about a security threat if they would have been dumb enough to burn the American flag leading up to WrestleMania 7. You might have had fans looking to jump the barricade or something, so that was the right call. And then he shows them the Iraqi flag and the title. I mean, everything they did leading up to this was telling you, of course, that Hogan is going to look at what Pat Patterson is wearing. Look at Pat Patterson. Oh, and he took a Adnan's working him over. Shout out to Pat Patterson's suit. Mr. Yeah, this is kind of like an early precursor to Mr. America with Hogan's starried bandana. Oh, they bleeped out WWF. On the Coliseum video, it's probably on here. I know they shoot something after the match where Slaughter shoots a fireball in Hogan's face in the locker room. It doesn't air on the pay-per-view, but they show it like after the fact. Oh, here come the celebrities. Poor Howard's got to turn things over to these guys. They didn't have any of this shit in the WrestleMania 6 main event. They kept it simple. Love the WrestleMania music they're playing. Thanks, KdogsKennel. Yeah, this one's been great. I'm really glad we watched WrestleMania 7. I didn't realize what a packed card it was. There's been a lot of matches on this. So we're finally to the end of it. Hulk Hogan against Sergeant Slaughter. It's pretty much a toss-up. I have no idea who's going to win this. Now, that definitely looks like it's Earl as the ref for this. Kathy Lee. I never liked the theme music that was just one thing happening. Like Slaughter's was like this. Earthquake was like his. The very first Diesel theme was just like a truck's engine. I never liked it until they switched it to the Roseanne theme. That's what I always called Diesel's babyface champion theme, the Roseanne song. That's what it reminded me of. I don't like drums. I don't like marching bands very much. Actually, I do like there's a Fleetwood Mac live album in like the 97 or 96 maybe, and it was out here in California, and the USC marching band came out and performed Tusk with them, and it sounded awesome. It's the only positive memory I have of like a whole bunch of drums at once. Yeah, I'm sure Bobby Heenan. Marla's been hitting you up. Marla Maple's been sliding into Bobby Heenan's DMs. Look at that computer printer paper. That's marvelous. There's holes, that shit on the side you could tear off. That's what it was, right? It was the Roseanne theme. I liked that theme of Diesel's. I've always thought it was catchy. Look at the size of that flag. Hogan did look pretty good with the blue bandana. He was always just red and yellow. I've been trying to get through some of those WWE Evil shows on Peacock, and we watched the Hogan one last night. It was okay. I liked it a lot. I liked the Randy Orton one better. The Hogan one was weird. Bruce and Vince and Kevin Dunn being such a big part of this, they're going to tell the stories the way they want them to. But Bischoff had some good things to say in the Hogan one. But so far, I liked Randy's. Probably going to check out maybe the Miz's next. His looks good. All right, ring the bell, girl. There it is. There's Macaulay Culkin right there. I didn't realize he was a front row kid. Good for him. This was about to be the beginning of Hulk's slimming down. You could start to see it starting here. By the time they would get to WrestleMania 8 the next year, he had really slimmed. I don't think they wanted us to think that Iron Sheik and Mustafa were two separate guys. They didn't really talk about him being the Iron Sheik very much. They might have mentioned it once. But I think it was more him adopting, and becoming an Iraqi sympathizer and changing his name to tribute that is what they were trying to play it off. Plus, I know in the WWE magazines, them talking about the Iron Sheik, there was a little write-up on that about Mustafa when he was Iron Sheik. So, but it did kind of on TV at the time, though, did feel like they were trying to act like he was a different guy, but he still had the pointy boots and shit. So it's not like it was they were trying to hide it. And to me as a fan, that was interesting when he came back and had the boots, and then technically like Hogan, that's one of my earliest memories of being a wrestling fan. I mean, I was only like 7 years old when Hogan beat the Iron Sheik for the title. So to see them actually in the ring together in 1991 on pay-per-view when the SummerSlam match was pretty nuts to me. Slaughter and Hogan. Someone burned a flag at a party in your town. It was a huge deal. Oh, Lord. Probably is. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend doing that. I would have no reason to, because why would you? Jericho got in all that trouble, remember, for kicking the, Brazilian flag. People are just very touchy about flags. I'm just not one of those people. I don't give two shits, but I'm in the minority. A lot of people give many shits. Many, 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 many shits. Of course, Hulk's going to have the power advantage of this. I mean, Slaughter coming back in to do all of this kept him in the company for years and years. And is he still in some capacity with them? but he would remain an agent after this. I even came across, I was working on the video I'm going to release this week on Thursday, and I came across, when I was looking for some images, I came across one that I found interesting, and it was clearly from 1993, and it was a house show, and it was Hogan. And the reason I know it was 1993 is, number one, he had the title on him, and Beefcake was with him in his 1993 Beefcake stuff, because Beefcake was out for like 3 years after the accident. So that means with Hogan with Hogan with the title, that means it had to have been between WrestleMania and King of the Ring in 93. But in the ring with Beefcake and Hogan, you see Slaughter in his ring gear. And I'm like, that's weird. What the fuck's going on there? So Slaughter, I wasn't aware that Slaughter was hopping back in the ring every now and then. But the way that looked in the image, it looked like the three of them worked a 6-man tag. Probably against like Yoko or something like that. So I'll have to look up the 1993 house show results to look at that. But I'm like, wow, Hogan and Slaughter teaming up. That is pretty crazy. I wasn't even aware Slaughter was working at all at that point, but he probably worked for a live event just for fun. All right, Hogan's finally making a little comeback on Slaughter here. Hogan has not been busted open yet. I know he does bleed in this. The Patriot Missile. Yeah, I understand completely that Will Smith might be offended about his wife, but he acted like a jackass. Chris Rock, I'm sure, didn't know that, and probably would have felt bad about it, without the punch, and probably would have apologized for it, But something else is clearly going on with Will Smith. He might need some help. No, I've not done a watch-along for SummerSlam 91, John, but we could do that this year. We could do that this summer. This is probably going to be the last WrestleMania one. We might have to... Well, we could do some more WrestleManias, but we might want to do some backlashes in April. Yeah, I saw Trish Stratus doing some of the Canada shows this week. She hosted at least one of them, I think. You think Will Smith apologized already? Well, he better. His publicists are probably tweeting him or texting him saying, dude, you're in hot water. Oh, yeah, wrestling is going to have to spoof this. Let's get people slapping people on Raw tomorrow. A big elbow to Slaughter's head. Slaughter almost looked like he was blading there for a second. That classic Earl count was still very prevalent even way back in 91. I love all these comments on the slap at the Oscars. Never given a crap about the Oscars until now. Yeah, the form that Will Smith used for the slap is so weird. What an asshole. I am not. I mean, I don't know the full details of this other than the joke, but I am not on Will Smith's side at all in this. He is definitely wrong. Holy shit. That's awesome. I love stuff like that. I hope we get slaps every year. Next year, let's get 2 more actors pissed at each other. Slap the shit out of each other. Let's do it. Make that a regular thing, and maybe I'll care about the Oscars. Ugh. Oh, I just saw the replay of the joke. Will Smith did laugh, but Jada rolled her eyes. So probably during that, she probably was like, "Yo, Will, but whatever," and then he went out and overcompensated for something. That's funny. Man, what would happen if Will Smith went to a roast? I mean, Hogan has really been working Slaughter hard, and he's been taking a ton of punishment. And Slaughter was a lot like Boss Man in some ways. He could take like some really crazy, hellacious bumps for like a big guy. Oh, it could be R-Truth. I don't know if we want to see R-Truth slap somebody. R-Truth is a nice guy. We need to have like Seth Rollins slap people or somebody like obnoxious and entitled. Seth would be a good option, actually. But he's too busy tomorrow. He's got to go meet with Vince McMahon in the morning, so he can't be slapping anybody. Hogan going to the top rope. Oh, what's up, buddy? Is an idiotic move for the Hulkster. All right, Bub just came up to sit next to me. Come on, bud, sit down. He is doing fantastic in spite of everything. He was deathly ill for a while there. He's still pretty sick, but he's doing really, really well right now, which is good. Hogan took funny top rope 360 clothesline bumps too, but he got over. He was always able to get over the top. Oh, maybe it might be funny to see like somebody insult Riddle and then Orton go slap him. Something like that. That might be funny. I don't know who's wrestling tomorrow. Well, the Usos are working with Orton and Riddle or something. So maybe Jay says something shitty about Riddle and then Orton slaps him. Something like that. What an interesting commentary trio there. Look at that. Heenan, Monsoon, Philbin. Classic. He's not that kind of a guy. You already know Max Caster he's already got his pen out and he's starting to write down the shit to say during his next AEW appearance or rap. Look at Earl not taking any shit from Sarge. Yeah, right after Sarge would lose here, then they would bring in Iron Sheik and do the Triangle of Terror. This match was way longer than I expected it to be. You would think that angry, patriotic Hogan out for revenge on Slaughter for all the shit he thinks he's done over the past 3 months would beat him in like 15 minutes instead of 30, but it's a pretty long match. Boston Crab on Hulk. Regis, I will say this, is doing better than Art Donovan. It would have been funny if every 5 seconds Regis is like, how much does General Adnan weigh? How much you think? The joke was stiffer than the slap. True that. Oh, no, I buffered. That's not good. Oh, there we go. We're good. Oop, I fell like 4 seconds behind. So I'm going to pause for 5 seconds, and then there we go. Perfect. Bobby Heenan would always do that. I heard him give up. He said he'd give up. Elizabeth is winking at the honky-tonk man. He was always stirring the pot. There we go. Big top rope boot to the small of the back of Hulk. He's got Hogan pinned. How stupid are you, Earl? I mean, Adnan? You're distracting the ref from your own guy. I don't even think I recalled that spot in that match. That was incredibly stupid by the heels. And now Adnan is back up there again. If you just stay down, retain the title. And that's the chair shot that opened Hogan up. Hogan could bleed well. He bled in the main event of WrestleMania 5, too, and it looked real good with Savage. There's a lot of blood on his face here. Love it. Hogan would bleed a lot in the early days. There's a great, he beat Sheik in basically a squash in Madison Square Garden to win the title, but they had a great return match that was bloody. I think Sheik took off his boot that had the pointed toe and bashed Hogan in the face, and it was real bloody. Hogan bled in the 80s a lot, and it was awesome.
As long as there's 1 ounce of blood left in that body, you can count on the Hulkster not packing it in. Now you better get the best surgeons California has, because this man's finished right now. Here it comes. That's it. Camel clutch slapped down.
I like that visual, the camel clutch. The move that basically birthed Hulkamania in the WWE. I thought it was great that he was using the camel clutch. Hogan opened himself up good. He is bleeding hard. That's amazing. Reaching down for that something extra. Calling the Ultimate Warriors gods. Blood is pouring out of his face. It's probably one of the only things that saved this match because it was so predictable. The blood made it good. And he lifted up. He did the same thing to the Sheik in that MSG match. Oh, no, except he rammed him into the buckle. Oh, he's got the Iraqi flag. Oh, yeah, he's going to try to put it on him. Yeah, I like that's going to work. Oh, and Hogan's got it. Oh, and he's going to tear it up. I guess it's okay with tearing up somebody else's flag. Just don't do it to ours. Is that what the message is? Okay. Look at the blood. He's like, oh, there's blood on my hands. You're fucked, Slaughter. Here comes the warning. Oh, big. He sold the boot. Hooked a leg. I mean, hell, Slaughter about kicked out of that. And he wins. Champion again. Hogan, or Vince went back to Hogan. Like for Hogan's ego, that probably felt so good after dropping the title the year before. He's like, I'm back. I mean, every time he dropped it, they always gave it back to him. Same thing when he coughed it up to Andre and then they put it on Savage a year later, got it back. Gave it to Warrior, a year later, got it back. Gave it to Taker, a year later, got it back. He immediately puts it on. I always like Hogan did that after his WrestleMania 5 victory too. Just put the title on right away. Yeah, Vince is very American. He's got that whole place decked out and stuff, so... Yeah, I probably would have booked this WrestleMania a little bit differently, but I still think it's super memorable. I remember all this stuff. And I think the Hogan-Slaughter match was actually pretty good. Like, Slaughter's good. Hogan, like, this is a little bit of the Hogan that I've talked about before, is that when he works a little bit more of a... You know, maybe even a more capable opponent, he can, like, really turn it on and get dirty when he needs to. This almost felt a little Japanish to me. And Hogan could do shit. Like his character came across as somebody that could fight if he had to fight, you know, and he fought in that. Long fucking, he did a good job on himself up there, man. That is interesting. Trump sat front row to watch him win 2 titles. He was there at WrestleMania 5, too. Best seat in the house. Well, Bubbanator, you can go back to last week's watch-along and watch all of us watch Hogan beat up Muhammad Hassan at 2005. Because we watched 21 last week. Oh, no, we watched 21 2 weeks ago. WrestleMania 18 was last week. More Hogan stuff. Hogan and Rock. Well, Hogan must pose, and Hogan is posing. Well, we are going to get out of here now because I know it's almost midnight on the East Coast, so thank you again for being here. As of right now, based on the way the card looks tomorrow night for Raw, I probably will be up here to do a review. I'll be up here for sure if we see Cody, but depending on what else we see, I might be up here briefly for a little bit of a review before we start WrestleMania week, and then you'll get a big podcast WrestleMania special episode coming up on Thursday that kicks off WrestleMania week, so I'm looking forward to that. You guys take care. Have a great rest of your Sunday night. Good luck with your week starting tomorrow, and we're just a few days away from the show of shows, and it's going to be a real fun weekend on the channel. So make sure you subscribe, thumbs up button, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you all in just a couple days or tomorrow. Take care.